This is Nationwide 90 FM, owned and operated by Nationwide News Network. We broadcast from our studios at 6 Bradley Avenue, Kingston 10, Jamaica. Transmitting on the FM 90 band. 90.3 from Peters Rock in St. Andrew and Murphy Hill in St. Anne. Serving Kingston and St. Andrew, St. Catherine, St. Anne, parts of Clarendon, St. Mary, and St. Thomas. 90.5 from Huntley in Manchester, transmitting to St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Manchester, Clarendon, rural St. Andrew, and parts of St. Thomas. And 90.7 from Coopers Hill in St. Andrew and Flower Hill in St. James, serving Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, sections of Trelawney, Kingston, St. Catherine, Clarendon, St. Mary, Portland, and St. Anne. Nationwide 90 FM also broadcasts on the World Wide Web on nationwideradiojm.com and on Flow on channel 916. Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
6 o'clock.
From the studios of Nationwide Radio, morning radio the right way. It's Nationwide This Morning.
A very good morning to you. I'm Tona Thomas. Coming up in the news at 6 for this morning, Monday, March 3, 2025. PNP President Mark Golding admits his party will have a tough time dislodging the GLP from government. The number of police fatal shootings since the start of the year rises to 58. St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce says a parish status for Portmore will deprive St. Catherine of revenue. In regional news, Venezuela rejects claims of violating Guyana's sovereignty. In international news, the UK Starmer says Europe is at crossroads in history as leaders agree to step up to Ukraine peace. In sports, Rodolphe Speed says Cavalier anxious to take on Lionel Messi and Inter Miami on Thursday. And in business, former Barclays boss heads to court over Jeffrey Epstein links this week. The details after the break.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to hr@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Catch the first news of the day. A comprehensive package of local, international, sports, and business news. The news at 6 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. PNP President Mark Golding admits that his party will have a very tough time dislodging the GLP from government. In a meeting with the party supporters held recently in Hartford, Connecticut, Golding lamented that the PNP's message is not being boosted by the media.
We have a very difficult task ahead of us, but if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be, because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too. So it's not an easy road to trod the road that we are treading, comrades. It is not going to be easy to get them out, because, you know, the news, the things that we put out don't get covered. Even today, there's a poll being run right now. I think it was paid for by some business people, a Don Anderson poll. The key metric in any poll is voter intention. Who do you intend to vote for? That's the key metric. Today they published it on a Saturday, which is the lowest sales of any newspaper day, when it shows that the PNP is 5% ahead.
He repeated the claim that the PNP has been slow to share a comprehensive plan to address problems in the country out of fear their ideas may be stolen by the GLP.
They have had their conference, they have had the Spark program, they've had the Reserve Income Tax Credit, which is essentially a $20,000 grant to over 300,000 people. They've just been spending money to try and get themselves back to where they were. And we have been a bit cautious in putting out our ideas because we have found on multiple occasions that they tend to be appropriated by the Labour Party. And then they're so powerful in the media and their communications is so strong, it's very difficult for us to set the narrative to show that we were really the originators of that idea. And so we are trying to time our release so that we don't suffer from that. But in the meantime, we have held our own in the polls. And I think when we start to now reveal what we intend to do for the people, we will see the growth.
Mark Golding, PNP president. The number of police fatal shootings has moved to 58 since the start of the year. This after 2 men were shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with the police on Terminal Road, Old Harbour Bay in St. Catherine on Sunday. Only one of the two, 28-year-old Damar Muirhead, has so far been identified by the police. Muirhead and the other man were pronounced dead at hospital. The police say 2 other men who were involved in the confrontation managed to escape. They say 2 illegal firearms were seized at the scene of the shooting. As is standard in these circumstances, the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom is probing the matter. So far this year, fatal shootings by the police are trending at almost 170% above the number recorded in the corresponding period in 2024. The police say the killing of a St. Elizabeth-based businessman by gunmen on Saturday may be linked to a dispute over the proceeds of lottery scamming. Dead is 26-year-old Stephen Trenchfield of Top Hill, St. Elizabeth. Trenchfield owned a car dealership. Reports are that he was traveling in a Mercedes-Benz motorcar along the Constant Spring Main Road in St. Andrew when he was attacked by gunmen traveling on a motorcycle. The attack occurred in the vicinity of Phil's Hardware and Rubis gas station. Trentfield was shot multiple times. He was taken to Andrews Memorial Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Manchester Chamber of Commerce is hopeful that the police will continue to effectively clamp down on crime in the parish. President of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, Omar Fennell, says there's hope the police can build on recent gains made.
There have been some reductions, but as you can imagine, it's a process. So we are sticking through with that process. It has yielded some results, but as you said, cautious optimism is what we're going with right now.
Fennell says, based on the previous crime surge that resulted in the imposition of curfews, businesses had to adjust their operations to facilitate transportation of workers, as well as make changes to opening hours. He says the efforts by the police are helping to reduce the high level of fear among some residents.
Hearing that we had no murders in January at all in Manchester is telling us that the police force is yielding some positive results, and I believe that as a chamber we'll work alongside them. And what we have been chided for, not understanding what's happening, but then with this kind of a result, I think they're on the right path. So we're just gonna work alongside them and see where it goes.
Omar Fennell, president of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Meanwhile, Mr. Fennell wants the police to improve their engagement with the citizens in the parish.
It's just a matter of being sure to inform the citizens, in terms of what's been happening. And they have been doing it. So, we made that request before, and I'm seeing it now being publicized a little bit more. So that's one of the things that we wanted to see, but we're now seeing it. In terms of just getting closer to the citizens, I know there were times they used to have some initiatives where the police would go to the community and get a little bit more involved. There's some amount of it, but I'd still love to see a little bit more of it going out into the schools, just sensitizing just the nation itself, not just Manchester. Things that used to happen before. Police would, have their day, they come on the devotion and stuff in school. I'm not so sure if that's still going on a lot, but just a little bit more interaction with the citizens.
Omar Fennell, president of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Meanwhile, a curfew is now in effect in sections of the Manchester Division. The latest curfew began at 6:10 p.m. last Saturday and is due to remain in effect until 6:10 p.m. today, Monday, March 3. The communities of Williamsfield, Porus, and Christiana are again the subject of the latest curfew. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the governing GLP party has executed the most comprehensive transformation of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF in the country's independent history. He made the statement in a lengthy commentary published in the Sunday Observer. Holness says every aspect of the JCF that has been upgraded serves the dual purpose of improving capabilities as well as the confidence of the public. He says his administration has invested approximately $10 billion annually in the JCF. Dr. Holness notes that this is 3 times the amount expended by the previous administration. Prime Minister Holness says the continual reduction in major crimes and murder is reflective of this more capable JCF. He highlighted that in February 2025, a total of 47 murders were recorded. He says this is the lowest on record since 2000, with only 1 murder in St. James, 1 in St. Elizabeth, 1 in Hanover, and 0 in Trelawney. He notes that security forces must have the monopoly on the use of force on behalf of the state. Prime Minister Holness says security officers must strive in every interaction with the public to demonstrate they can be entrusted with that responsibility. He has, however, warned that criminal elements must understand that, regardless of what kind of firepower they may have, they stand no chance against a highly trained constabulary that has the country behind it. Consumers will be paying more for eggs. President of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association, Mark Campbell, says the main reason for the increase is a rise in the cost of transportation.
Usually, a producer who could make 1 trip to a supermarket or to a hotel will be making 3 or even 4 trips now to deliver the same amount of eggs. So his cost of delivery, which is separate from his cost of production, has tripled and quadrupled in some cases. So from that angle, the consumers can expect to pay more. His motor vehicle attracts a cost. The fuel he buys is at a cost.
Campbell says consumers should brace for a double-digit price increase.
I suspect that the average price that was there before would be around $1,200 a tray. That's for a tray of 2.5 dozen eggs, 30 eggs. And I have seen a movement of anywhere between 10 and 30% recently. So if that is the movement, you're looking at an average of 20% increase.
Mark Campbell, president of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association. The process of recruiting workers for the next general election is proceeding smoothly. That's the word from Glaspell Brown, Director of Elections.
Well, we are in the preparation mode for the upcoming general election, which is due on or before September this year. And a part of our preparation is to recruit election day workers. That process is going okay so far. We have now embarked upon the training phase. So we continue recruiting, but we are now in the training phase of that operation.
Brown says over 20,000 workers will be needed on election day.
We are looking to engage 25,000 persons to assist us on the day in terms of assist us to execute the election on election day.
Glaspell Brown, Director of Elections. President of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce, Dennis Robotham, says Portmore's pending upgrade to parish status is bad news for business in St. Catherine.
If they can show us where and how we will be funded, because most of St. Catherine are in the farmlands area, a lot of, we go up into the hills, that sort of thing. Most of the revenue comes from the urban area of Portmore, per se, and all other areas in St. Catherine. Therefore, that aspect of it is going to negate against the upward mobility. I am yet for anybody to show us how we will benefit in terms of the economic aspects of it, which just looking at it from, the onset and just looking at it from our angle, it doesn't look too good from where we sit.
Robotham says he's yet to see a document outlining just how parish status will be beneficial to all.
Nonetheless, the authorities might give us a different spin, and until we hear a fulsome report as to how and when and why we're going to see the difference, then we are yet to see that. But in the interim, this is how we look at it, and we hope that, things will change. Yes, we see other aspects. The minister was at our meeting, and lands have been located to do a hospital, which, of course, we might get some interim spin-off from that, and other areas where that economically we will benefit, but that's the short term. The long term is what might be impacting on our total economy.
Dennis Robotham, president of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce. The bill to facilitate Portmore's transition to parish status was passed along party lines in the House of Representatives on February 11. It was approved by the Upper House last Friday. Meanwhile, now that both houses of Parliament have approved the bill to make Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish, the next step is for the bill to get the assent of the Governor-General. Director of Elections Glaspell Brown says the Electoral Commission of Jamaica ECJ will start the process to determine the electoral boundaries after the bill is gazetted.
It will then be referred to the Commission as it relates to because it is the responsibility of the Commission, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, to determine the constituency boundary and electoral division boundary. So it has to be referred to the Commission, and then the Commission will, as it relates to the designation of any constituency boundary, the Commission will then go through that process. And that process involves a number of layers in terms of the arriving at any constituency boundary or electoral division boundaries. There's an established guidelines for the setting up of constituency boundary and electoral division boundaries.
Glaspell Brown, Director of Elections. Principal of Greater Portmore High School, Richard Ross, says classes will remain online this week. Classes were moved online last Thursday after teachers and staff protested against a persistent foul odor from a nearby sewage treatment plant operated by the National Water Commission, NWC.
The security would have reached out to me about 6 in the evening yesterday to indicate that the stench that is permeating the environment is terrible. And so the staff is still resolute. They are not intending on going on the physical plant until the matter is resolved. So staff and students will be still in the virtual space come tomorrow.
Ross says he's disappointed by the lack of response from key stakeholders.
To date, we have not had any meeting with neither NWC representative, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, or Ministry of Water. None of those entities would have reached out to us in relation to any form of discussion. What we learned would have been what would have been said in the media. We're hoping that good sense will prevail and the matter is resolved so that our students can be back in the physical space where teaching and learning is more effective.
Richard Ross, a principal of Greater Portmore High School. Last Thursday, the NWC said a team would be conducting maintenance work to investigate the cause of the lingering stench. And that's it for the local segment of the news. Up next, regional and international.
Yo, my boss.
Yo.
Yo, my general. Yo, my king. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some starkerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
In regional and international news this morning, Venezuela has rejected Guyana's claim, accusing the Spanish-speaking country of entering Guyana's territorial waters with a Navy vessel on the weekend. The Ministry of Defense said the controversial military operation was aimed at safeguarding the integrity of Venezuela's maritime and land territories. Venezuela says it has been able to verify through satellite images the presence of 28 foreign drilling vessels and tankers in the disputed area in violation of international law. The vessels were from Guyana, but Venezuela contends that Guyana has no legal basis or legitimacy to unilaterally dispose of a space over which it cannot exercise sovereignty or jurisdiction. The area under dispute is the Essequibo region, controlled by Guyana as part of 6 of its regions. It is also claimed by Venezuela as the Guayana Essequibo state. Venezuela says it is ready to respond to any threat. International British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on Sunday rallied his European counterparts to shore up their borders and throw their full weight behind Ukraine. This as he announced plans or outlines of a plan to end Russia's war. Starmer said he had worked with France and Ukraine on the plan and that the group of leaders had agreed on 4 things: keeping aid flowing to Kyiv, maintaining economic pressure on Russia, making sure Ukraine is at the bargaining table and that any peace deal ensures its sovereignty and security, and continuing to arm Ukraine to deter future invasion. Starmer's exhortation comes 2 days after U.S. backing of Ukraine appeared in jeopardy when President Donald Trump lashed out at Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The extraordinary scolding took place on live television at the White House last Friday. And that's it for regional and international. Up next, sports.
Since 1995, we've been your go-to source for everything related to billiards, amusement machines, and electronics. With locations at 1A Lindsay Terrace, Kingston 10, and the Village Plaza, Big Bridge, Savannah, Lamar, we offer top-quality pool table parts and accessories, cutting-edge gaming machines, and more. We also specialize in assembly, sales, and service of amusement machines. We provide unmatched customer service, expert solutions, and products tailored to your needs. Who are we? We are Eclipse Enterprise. Telephone 876-960-3891.
Outperform, outlast. With top performance. Jackama. Reliable, full stop, not comma. We have the expertise for drilling and demolition. We have the power tools for plumbers and electricians. Fancy select tools, 3 parts and 3 repairs. 3 parts, 3 repairs. 2 to 3 years. Hilton, available at Delta Supply, 106 Hagley Park Road. Call us at 876-302-61114. Delta Supply, we service what we sell.
Are you ready to turn your sales and marketing skills into high earnings? Nationwide 90 FM is searching for business development executives to help us grow our business and build lasting client relationships. If you have experience across all stages of the sales cycle and possess strong communication, negotiation, and time management skills with a proven sales track record, this opportunity is perfect for you. Join our team and work with the top corporate brands, media agencies, and of course, our on-air personalities. Enjoy networking opportunities, professional growth, and competitive commissions. Ready to take the next step? Send your resume to HR@nationwidenewsnetwork.com today.
Time now for your morning sports. A technical director of Cavalier Rudolph Speed says his players are anxious to take on Lionel Messi and Inter Miami in the second round of the CONCACAF Champions Cup. Both teams will meet in the first leg at the Chase Stadium on March 6 before the return leg 7 days later at the National Stadium.
The players are a set of players that like challenges, so they know what they're up against, but they really want to play against Inter Miami. Even from last year, we were hoping it would happen. Didn't happen, but the players are just ecstatic. I mean, they're looking forward to the encounter.
Rudolph Speed. Assistant Manager Frazier's whip, Michael Lowe, says the mission is to retain the Jamaica Women's Premier League title. Frazier's whip opened the title defence with a 6-0 win over UWI on Saturday. Speaking on Sports Nation Live, Lowe says he has big plans for his players.
What we look out for is scholarships for the young ladies, and I am the one who does the scouting. So I always look to the young ones to bring here to Fraser. You know, definitely want to come here. They like the camaraderie, how we deal with players welfare. You know, we not only look at the playing standard, we look at education as well.
Michael Lowe. Kingston College's Daniel Clark ran a personal best to win the 110 meters hurdles final at the Carifta Trials on Sunday. Clark won in 13.06 seconds.
Sends him off and going. Daniel Clark is ahead of Shaquille Gordon. Daniel Clark and Shaquille Gordon have separated themselves. Clark is ahead of Gordon. Shaquille Gordon is coming back. Daniel Clark will take it. Look at the time! Look at the time! 13.06. 13.06 for Daniel Clark. Oh my word!
Commentary courtesy of Track Alerts. Meanwhile, the under-20 girls 100 meters hurdles final went to Tiana Marshall of Wolmers in 13.33 seconds.
Gun sense up and running, and Brianna Davidson gets a good start. Marshall is coming at her, but Davidson ahead of Marshall. Marshall is coming though. Marshall ahead of Davidson. Marshall ahead of Davidson. Tiana Marshall has taken it. Flash time 13.33.
Malaya Duncan stopped the clock at 13.30 seconds to win the under-17 girls 100 meters hurdles final. And Wolmer's Mark Daniel Allen won the under-17 boys 110 meters hurdles final in 13.73 seconds. That's it for your morning sports.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
In business this morning, a former boss of Barclays who was ousted from the bank over his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein will seek to clear his name in court this week. The BBC is reporting that Jess Staley was forced out in November 2021. This after UK regulators ruled he had failed to accurately disclose the nature and length of his relationship with Epstein to the Barclays board. The episode cost Mr. Staley, a man with a glittering and rewarding career in investment banking, £18 million in pay and bonuses, and more importantly, his reputation. Mr. Staley is seeking to overturn a decision by the Financial Conduct Authority in 2023, banning him from holding a senior position in financial services. Jess Staley had been disciplined by regulators in 2018 over his attempts to unmask a whistleblower he felt was unfairly trying to smear a colleague. But the crucial blow to his position at Barclays was his insistence that his relationship with Epstein was not close and had ended before he took up the top job at the UK bank. A cache of emails released by his former employer, JP Morgan, suggested the relationship was in fact very close. Email exchanges described time spent together at Mr. Epstein's properties in New York and on his private island in the U.S. Virgin Islands. The BBC is reporting that Mixu ice cream and tea may be unfamiliar to many, but the Chinese firm has more outlets than McDonald's and Starbucks. On Monday, the bubble tea chain's shares jumped by more than 40% in their Hong Kong Stock Exchange debut. The company raised $444 million in the financial hub's biggest initial public offering IPO of the year. Mixu's popularity comes as many people in China are grappling with the country's economic challenges, including a property crisis and weak consumer and business confidence. It sells ice cream and drinks for an average of 6 Chinese yuan or 82 US cents. The company was founded in 1997 by Zhang Hongshao, a student at Henan University of Finance and Economics, as a part-time job to help his family's finances. Finally now, in foreign exchange trading this morning, the Jamaican dollar will open trading today, selling for an average $157.33 against the benchmark US dollar. The Jamaican dollar will open trading today, selling for an average $110.45 against the Canadian. And finally, the Jamaican will open trading today, selling for an average $199.56 against the British pound. That's it for business this morning.
Clear your barrels and personal shipments with ease and convenience. Request a customs contactless clearance today through CCP at jca.gov.jm. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
6:30.
Public passenger vehicle operators and commercial carriers. Renew your road license online. It's as easy as 1-2 click. Visit the Transport Authority website at www.ta.org.jm. Choose your license type and click Apply Now. Sign in or create an account with your email address and complete the application process, uploading all relevant documents. Make payment using a debit or credit card. Once your application is approved, the Transport Authority will email you to collect your sticker. Pick up your sticker in office or utilize our courier service. Once the sticker is collected, your digital road license will be emailed to you. For more information, call the Transport Authority toll-free at 1-888-991-5687.
Why eat other snacks when sunshine has the best for you? Nature's best buns are crunchy. The flavor that sings to you. Salted banana and plantain. Taste the freshness, naturally sweet. The flavor that sings to you.
Ayo, nature's best bunch.
You can have it all. Company events, birthday parties, or the wedding of your dreams. It's all possible at Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts. We have magnificent event rooms and a dedicated team that will make your event the best experience that only Grand Palladium Hotels and Resorts can offer. Contact us at 876-619-0000 or call your favorite travel agency and ask about our promotion designed especially for you.
is striving for better. And we're not gonna stop till the battle is won and we get justice. Cause if you lose your stand, anyone will try to push you over and over. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Lift up your head and hold it up high. We know that we'll win the prize. Don't be discouraged by the pitfalls and their worries. They endure for one night.
Good morning to you. You're tuned in to Nationwide this morning. NTM, thank you so much for coming on over and joining us. Happy Monday to you. It is Monday, March 3, 2025. Brand new month. Hoping that you're trotting along very nicely, achieving your goals as we enter this new month. I'm Tona Thomas.
Good morning, Tona. My name is George.
Hey to you, George.
What up?
How are you?
I'm very good, and you good?
Yeah, man. Had a good weekend?
Yeah, I had a fun Saturday evening. Well, Saturday night.
Ha, ha, ha.
King, by the time they thought I sit down on the veranda, you know, and I sleep. I have our phone around, so, and I sleep. Somebody say, Tona, and I hear bleaching and everything, girl. No. And everything.
Yeah. At that hour, I'm normally asleep.
Long time.
Yes.
A dream, long time. Yeah. Listeners, I see some people asking me if Messi is coming to Jamaica with Inter Miami. And the one thing I'll say is that if they beat Cavalier badly in the first leg, I don't think so. But the Cavalier team good, so I don't expect no cricket score. So for all intents and purposes, based on the Cavalier team I know, Messi will have reason to come to Jamaica to defend the thing.
Yeah.
So all of you who have tickets and look like no fun have tickets. Yeah.
George, you see now, so you have to go clarify.
What?
Okay, just drop it on people.
Uno too
without
fast.
Uno
Uno too fast. We'll tell you later on in the program. Later on in the program, I tell you. I promise.
Yes,
I promise.
yes.
I see Mark G's video, Mark Golding's video. Almost, I was very tempted to go there rather than what I had been working on, as I was sharing with you on Saturday night.
Yeah.
But the old man come on at 10 o'clock, right? I know he'll have a lot to say about that. So if you want to hear about Mark G and his heart-to-heart with comrades in Hartford, Connecticut, you can come in at 10. But a lot to unpack from what Mark Golding said in that in that statement. A lot. And as we were saying in our group yesterday, you know, it's almost as if Golding is telling the media that people believe is PNP supporting media, that they're not doing enough to help him. But anyway, this morning, listeners, a very important issue I want to make some comments on, because I hope to give some context to the situation and to allow nationwide listeners to have an appreciation of what is very likely the cause for the police to not be using more body cameras. And I've spent some time, listeners, I must tell you, painstaking, trying to get some numbers around the body cameras issue. Unit cost, what the next order is from the police. We know they have 750 working with. So I've been trying to get, okay, what's the next order? What's the unit cost per body camera? And what is the holdup? Because as we reported in our news this morning, the police fatal shooting number is now 58. And so the numbers rise, so JFJ calls for greater accountability and more broad use of police body cameras. Indicom, the same thing. And many Jamaicans on social media, you know, murmuring about it. Mark you there, that number is dwarfed by the number of people who say, yes, the police are doing the right thing by killing these alleged criminals in confrontations, and there's no sympathy for them. But if you step aside from it and ask yourself, why is it that the police are not wearing more cameras? And I promise you, listeners, this is not the usual way to look at this. I've come with some numbers because, as I said, I made several calls. Many people don't answer. I've been trying to corroborate the numbers with the police high command, but I can't get anybody there to do that either. But based on where I got my numbers from, I'm very confident in my numbers, and I waited. And so I'm sharing them with you now. And again, this is for you to get context as a nationwide listener. So here I go now. Recall that the police have 750 body cameras using now. 750 of them are out there. What then is the cost per unit of body camera? Is the body camera the same thing that you'd buy to give your son or your daughter to ride their bicycle around the neighborhood, to skateboard, in a little GoPro that you can attach to your cap or your helmet or whatever? Is it like that? You can buy it on Amazon or eBay or wherever for little or nothing? No. Each one of the police body cameras, based on my information, costs $204,000 for one. So then, 750 that they're working with now, same unit cost. I was told that it was pretty much the same supplier. 750 times 204,000 rather. That's $153 million for the 750 body cameras that the police working with. 750 body cameras, 153 million. So I said, okay, what is the next order that the police have made? Because again, I wanted to know if, as the police commissioner says, he and the high command believe that more of their members should have these body cameras when they are on operation, so that, you know, you can see what it is that's happening, and a lot of people can be satisfied that police are not just going around shooting people. The police high command, the police commissioner, is on record to say, listen, why would anybody question my commitment to giving more of my members these cameras and having the stakeholders satisfied that the men and women that we deploy are not just going around killing people? The police commissioner says he's committed to that. His high command is committed to that. So I said, and I checked, is this commitment borne out by what the police have moved to order? The answer is yes. The order that the police put in was for 1,000 more. And that 1,000 more at $204,000 per unit, simple maths, $204 million. So remember, they spent $153 million already. They want to spend $204 million more. And my information is they got the approval from the ministry that signs off on those things, because the police can't just order just like that. Yeah? $204 million was approved to buy 1,000 more body cameras to put on the streets. So where the camera them, the George, is what you probably ask. Before I tell you where the cameras are, remember, you know, the police is but one unit in government that needs resources. They got $153 million already to buy cameras, and they come back and whap, $204 million approved for them to buy cameras. This is in a context where the Department of Correctional Services needs resources, not getting them. NSWMA will tell you we need more garbage truck, you can't get them. Yeah? More ambulances needed for public hospitals, we know there's an ambulance issue. Stuart Beckford at the Jamaica Fire Brigade will say, I need resources, and you give police $153 million to buy camera. They give them $204 million more to buy camera. What about us? Look at the things we need. We need trucks. We need this. We need that. So always keep in mind that the resources the police get, and you heard the Prime Minister this morning talking about how many billions his administration has invested directly into the police force year over year. The police are getting, some whisper it, some agency leaders, some entity leaders are saying, why the police I get everything them ask for and we not get nothing. That is perhaps the prevailing feeling if you go across and ask them honestly off the record. Yeah? So they got 153 to do 750, and they were approved $204 million to do 1,000 more body cameras. So where the camera them there? how procurement works is you put in the request for the items and the cost and everything. My information is that after the police waited 8 months for procurement to come back to them, 8 months they submitted to the procurement entities in the government. Of course, you know it's a chain of command. It's not a timeline. It's a continuum. It's a process that has to go through the steps, the procurement steps. After they submitted all the paperwork and waited for the approvals and to say yes, these things are now ready for order. 8 months later, they were told by procurement, no, you can't get the 1,000 cameras. So they said, why? My information is that after sitting and waiting for 8 months for procurement to give them the go to get the cameras, the police were told that in the analysis of those who do the procurement bit, they don't think the police need those cameras. That there can be cameras that there are cameras that can do the same job that the police can get for cheaper. And so the police, I understand, have to go start from scratch to go find a new supplier supplying cheaper cameras than the one that they've asked for, and come again and submit again. So if that process that is now over lasted for 8 months and then we're told no at the end of it, this new process that they have to start, how many more months are they going to have to wait to get the additional cameras in? And so my understanding, my information is that if the assent had been given by procurement, those 1,000 cameras would have been en route to the JCF, at least on this day in sports, March 3, 2025. Instead, after waiting 8 months, sit down on the bench 8 months, waiting, and now being told no, the police are going to have to do it all over again. So it is in this context when people curse the police, say, we don't want to give people a body camera because we don't want the police them to go around and shoot people just so. Put that in your pipe when you're smoking the cigarette of criticism. That, I understand, is the situation facing the JCF today, where the procurement of additional body cameras is concerned. Now, if you notice, I've been very careful. I'm telling you what I understand procurement said to them. I not say procurement wrong. It may seem so on the surface, and you may ask, so why don't you make the people wait 8 months before you tell them that they're going to have to do it again? And what expertise procurement personnel have to tell police which cameras are best for the purposes that police say they should be used for? And how is it that the 750 out there are working, taken from the same supplier, doing the same kind of work, but they come back with a new order and tell them, no, that don't make sense, is what you will say. You could very well say that. In fact, if you say that, I wouldn't push back too hard against you. So that is the situation, as I understand it, where the body-worn cameras are concerned. And remember, the police getting hundreds of millions of dollars to do these things, while there are other state entities that requests for additional equipment, Minister probably not even get round to that yet.
The Ministry of Justice offers free counseling to victims of crime. Call 876-946-0663. The time by the Ministry of Justice is
6:47.
$1 million in an unsecured loan from JPS and Partners could be yours. Conditions apply. The temperature, compliments of JPS and Partners Cooperative Credit Union, your financial partner for life, is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Hurt less with Pharma Joint Flex. Taking Pharma Joint Flex daily helps to repair, replenish, and revitalize worn, damaged cartilage that causes joint pain. Do you suffer from arthritis and chronic joint pain? Then Pharma Joint Flex is the remedy for you. Our all-natural formula contains glucosamine and chondroitin, ingredients for joint repair, so you can get relief. Ask your pharmacist or doctor for Pharma Joint Flex, distributed by Massey.
Hey there, commuters! Big news! Your JUTC SmartFare cards are here! It's time to swap out those old Smarter cards and step into the future of easy, efficient travel. We know transitions take time, but let's get started. Here's how. Grab your Smarter card and your ID. Bring it to any JUTC ticket office. We will then switch you to a SmartFare card. Top up and voila! Your brand new SmartFare card is ready to roll. No stress, your balance moves with you to your sleek, upgraded SmartFare card. So, out with the old, in with the new. Right, with SmartFare.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time of a Street Smart 1 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
Morning, George. Morning, Tona.
Hey to you, Ludlow.
Our listeners are motoring. It's a bright and sunny morning, yes? And quite an interesting one. Wow. What's happening? Those days are busy. Those of you motorists coming from the Papine, you're going to find Papine quite busy. Coming down Olop Road, it's busy. Up past Hope Boulevard, not bad. Coming on the Olop Road, you're going to have the traffic in that Ligonier area. Now, if you pass, please be careful when you pass in that vicinity where you have the U.S. Embassy. People are really moving across, so you have to be very careful. Vehicles are being parked, all sorts of activities are there. When you come further down towards Hope Road now, this was on Olop Road, Ligonier side there. Now, coming on Olop Road, you're going to see a steady flow making its way up there into the Ligonier area. When you're going further down, you're going to notice Waterloo Road is quite busy. So if you're coming from Upper Waterloo, from Shortwood Road, Waterloo, you're going to find the traffic moving southbound. On the northbound side, it's really pretty good going, no problems, no delays there. Going into Harper Tree Square, it's quite a bit busy in that area. Coming down Harper Constance Swing Road into Harper Tree Square, it's also busy. All lanes are busy making it into Harper Tree. And I can tell you from now, Hadley Park Road also has traffic coming from as far as Wood Glen, I would say, Hadley and Wood Glen, coming further up. What's happening around Mullines, Kingston area, from the Cassia Park Road coming across all the way up to Mullines Road into Harper Tree Park. That's where you're going to have the traffic. So it's quite a busy Monday morning. I remember it's bright and sunny. Remember east, west going east, you're going to find the sun until 7:15, 7:18. George.
Ludlow in the sea. All right. Tyler, up next, the word of the day.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Your word of the day is spelled D-E-C-O-C-T, spelled D-E-C-O-C-T.
Decoct. Decoct. Decoct.
Decoct is your word of the day. It's a verb and it means to extract the flavor or essence of something by boiling. Decoct is your word of the day. Dictionary.com is telling us that the word was first recorded between 1375 and 1425. To use it in a sentence, the chef knew how to decoct flavors from natural ingredients to create concentrated versions. Decoct is your word of the day, spelled D-E-C-O-C-T. To extract the flavor or essence of something by boiling. Dictionary.com did provide a second sentence. Decocting herbs and vegetables for too long may strip away their nutrients and and produce unsavory compounds. Decocting herbs and vegetables for too long may strip away their nutrients and produce unsavory compounds. That is your word of the day. You might have reason to use this one if you're a chef, you're talking about food somewhere. Yeah, you want to be fancy. Decoct might be a word that comes up in your vocabulary that you might utilize.
So you know that their former South Africa Limited Overs captain. His name.
Yeah.
In the form of Decoct. His first name, Quinton, which is?
Quinton.
And his last name, Dekock.
That's yeah. Okay. Yeah, the listeners got it.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, it's not an expletive. We can say his name because we used to say his name in the sports every day.
No,
and I'm sure you've read it several times.
But George, I'm just imagining how people tease this brother.
No, well, not him, because his culture is different, So people not the things that
maybe
are
not
part
in
of
his culture.
Yeah, but
yeah.
One of my friends got that nickname.
Oh my goodness.
Which is very unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
Maybe not in his culture, but elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know what Jamaicans are? You have a name like that in Jamaica.
Imagine they are school with that name. Jesus Christ.
Up next, your features at the top of the hour in the news.
Living Well is brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Today on Living Well, the second installment of Why Hasn't Anyone Looked at the Lead Connection? There was a study or investigation that was done in 2013 looking at lead in enamel household paints manufactured by some of the world's leading paint manufacturers in Bangladesh, published in the IOSR, the Journal of Environmental Science, revealed the following. 25 enamel paint samples from 5 brands, 5 colors in each brand, manufactured by the major players Berger, Asian, Roxy, Palac, and Elite Paints, were randomly purchased from various markets in Dhaka, Bangladesh, during the months of January to April 2012. The paint samples were purchased in the sizes of 50 mils, 100 mils, 200 mils, 500 mils, and 1 liter, depending upon the availability. Samples were analyzed by atomic absorption spectrometer using air acetylene flame at the wavelength of 217 micrometers, band pass 0.5 micrometers, measurement time 4 seconds, background correction D2. Prescribed by AA Spectrometers Methods Manual of Thermoelectron Corporation. Lead was found in all enamel paint samples tested. 96%, 24 out of 25 samples of the enamel paint samples did not meet the specification for lead content prescribed by US and China limit. The average concentration of lead in all enamel paint samples ranged from 55 to 114,010 parts per million. The highest, 114,010 parts per million concentration of lead was detected in golden yellow of Rebiolac acrylic destimeter manufactured by Berger Paints, which is 1,267 times higher than the US and China limit for new paints, 99 parts per million. Lead is, however, also used in many other products. For example, pigments, paints, solder, stained glass, lead crystal, glassware, ammunition, ceramic glazes, jewelry, toys, and in some cosmetics and traditional medicines. Drinking water delivered through lead pipes or pipes joined with lead solder may contain lead. The Institute of Health Metrics and Evaluation, the IHME, has estimated that based on 2015 data, lead exposure accounted for 494,550 deaths and loss of 9.3 million disability-adjusted life years due to long-term effects on health. The highest burden is in low and middle-income countries. Lead can have serious consequences for the health of children. At high levels of exposure, lead attacks the brain and central nervous system to cause coma, convulsions, and even death. Children who survive severe lead poisoning may be left with mental retardation and behavioral disorders. At lower levels of exposure that cause no obvious symptoms and that previously were considered safe, lead is now known to produce a spectrum of injury across multiple body systems. In particular, lead can affect children's brain development, resulting in reduced intelligence quotients, behavioral changes such as reduced attention span and increased antisocial behavior, and reduced educational attainment. Lead exposure also causes anemia, hypertension, renal impairment, immunotoxicity, and toxicity to the reproductive organs. The neurological and behavioral effects of lead are believed to be irreversible. It is well known that lead, when it passes over the blood-brain barrier, will lead to violent behavior. Now, I'm not saying that I know this is to be the cause of some of the violence that have been seen in some of our young children. However, knowing that lead is definitely present here, it's worth taking a look at. Push to find out if lead is present where you live, work, or play. That's Living Well for today. Tune in next time for The Dangers of Laxatives.
Living Well was brought to you by the New Walters Pharmacy, Black River, St. Elizabeth. Everything exceptional.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Many people get nervous when going on a first date. There's great anticipation over where to go, what to wear, and what to expect of your date. I'm Tana, and in Lifestyle Pages today, tips for the first date. Normally, it's the man's job to choose the location. But ladies, choose somewhere you have been before that is familiar to you. This will make you feel more comfortable and gives you control if something goes wrong. You also need to choose the right outfit. Knowing where you're going will help determine how to dress. Empty all unnecessary things from your handbag and wallet. Never be late to a first date. It's always better to be early. Rushing and stressing is never good. Be curious. Ask as many questions as you're being asked. Do not sit and talk about yourself all night, and don't talk about past relationships. But most importantly, have fun. That was your Lifestyle Pages. I'm Tana.
Nationwide 90 FM, continuing the tradition of fair, fearless, and factual reporting.
Jamaica, let's make road safety a priority. Slow down, stay focused. Remember, every life matters. The time brought to you by the JIS is
7 o'clock.
If you need to build it, plumb it, weld it, pave it, or power it, National Supply has it. Get the best brands for the job at Jamaica's Industrial Hardware Superstore, Kingston, Ormo Bay. The temperature by National Supply is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 19 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
The most credible news in the morning. The news at 7 on Nationwide 90 FM.
Coming up in the news at 7 this morning, Monday, March 3, 2025, PNP President Mark Golding admits his party will have a tough time dislodging the JLP from government. The number of police fatal shootings since the start of the year rises to 58. St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce says parish status for Portmore will deprive St. Catherine of revenue. And in international news, Keir Starmer says Europe is at a crossroads in history as leaders agree to steps to Ukraine peace.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. PNP President Mark Golding admits his party will have a very tough time dislodging the JLP from government. In a meeting with party supporters held recently in Hartford, Connecticut, Golding lamented that the PNP's message is not being boosted by the media.
We have a very difficult task ahead of us, but if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be, because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too. So it's not an easy road to trod the road that we are treading, comrades. It is not going to be easy to get them out, because, you know, the news, the things that we put out don't get covered. Even today, there's a poll being run right now. I think it was paid for by some business people, a Don Anderson poll. The key metric in any poll is voter intention. Who do you intend to vote for? That's a key metric. Today they published it on a Saturday, which is the lowest sales of any newspaper day, when it shows that the PNP is 5% ahead.
Golding repeated the claim that the PNP has been slow to share a comprehensive plan to address problems in the country out of fear their ideas may be stolen by the JLP.
They have had their conference, they have had the Spark program, they've had the Reserve Income Tax Credit, which is essentially a $20,000 grant to over 300,000 people. They've just been spending money to try and get themselves back to where they were. And we have been a bit cautious in putting out our ideas because we have found on multiple occasions that they tend to be appropriated by the Labour Party. And then they're so powerful in the media and their communications is so strong, it's very difficult for us to set the narrative to show that we were really the originators of that idea. And so we are trying to time our release so that we don't suffer from that. But in the meantime, we have held our own in the polls. And I think when we start to now reveal what we intend to do for the people, we will see the growth.
Mark Golding, PNP President. The number of police fatal shootings has moved to 58 since the start of the year. This after 2 men were shot and killed during an alleged confrontation with the police on Terminal Road, Old Harbour Bay in St. Catherine on Sunday. Only one of the two, 28-year-old Damar Muirhead, has so far been identified by the police. Muirhead and the other man were pronounced dead at hospital. The police say 2 other men who were involved in the confrontation managed to escape. They say 2 illegal firearms were seized at the scene of the shooting. As is standard in these circumstances, the Independent Commission of Investigations, INDECOM, is probing the matter. So far this year, fatal shootings by the police are trending at almost 170% above the number recorded in the corresponding period in 2024. The police say the killing of a St. Elizabeth-based businessman by gunmen on Sunday may be linked to a dispute over the proceeds of lottery scamming. Dead is 26-year-old Stephen Trenchfield of Top Hill in St. Elizabeth. Trenchfield owned a car dealership. Reports are that he was traveling in a Mercedes-Benz motor car along the Constant Spring May Road in St. Andrew when he was attacked by gunmen traveling on a motorcycle. The attack occurred in the vicinity of Phil's Hardware and Rubis gas station. Trenchfield was shot multiple times. He was taken to Andrews Memorial Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Manchester Chamber of Commerce is hopeful that the police will continue to effectively clamp down on crime in the parish. President of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, Omar Fennell, says there's hope the police can build on recent gains made.
There have been some reductions, but as you can imagine, it's a process. So we are sticking through with that process. Has yielded some results, but as you said, cautious optimism is what we're going with right now.
Fennell says based on the previous crime surge that resulted in the imposition of curfews, businesses had to adjust to their operations to facilitate transportation of workers as well as make changes to opening hours. He says the efforts by the police are helping to reduce the high level of fear among some residents.
Hearing that we had no murders in January at all in Manchester is telling us that the police force is yielding some positive results, and I believe that as a chamber we'll work alongside them. And what we have been chided for, not understanding what's happening, but then with this kind of a result, I think they're on the right path. So we're just gonna work alongside them and see where it goes.
Meanwhile, Fennell wants the police to improve their engagement with citizens in the parish.
It's just a matter of being sure to inform the citizens, in terms of what's been happening. And they have been doing it. So, we made that request before, and I'm seeing it now being publicized a little bit more. So that's one of the things that we wanted to see, but we're now seeing it. In terms of just getting closer to the citizens, I know there were times they used to have some initiatives where the police would go to the community and get a little bit more involved. There's some amount of it, but I'd still love to see a little bit more of it going out into the schools, just sensitizing just the nation itself, not just Manchester. Things that used to happen before. Police would, have their day, they come on the devotion and stuff in school. I'm not so sure if that's still going on a lot, but just a little bit more interaction with the citizens.
Omar Fennell, President of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Meanwhile, a curfew is now in effect in sections of the Manchester Division. The latest curfew began at 6:10 p.m. last Saturday and is due to remain in effect until 6:10 p.m. today, Monday, March 3. The communities of Williamsfield, Porus and Christiana are again the subject of the curfew. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says the governing JLP has executed the most comprehensive transformation of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF in the country's independent history. He made the statement in a commentary published in the Sunday Observer newspaper. Holness says every aspect of the JCF has been upgraded and that serves the dual purpose of improving capabilities as well as the confidence of the public. He says his administration has invested approximately $10 billion annually in the JCF. He notes that this is 3 times the amount expended by the previous administration. Prime Minister Holness says the continued reduction in major crimes and murder is reflective of this more capable JCF. He highlighted that in February 2025, 47 murders were recorded. He says this is the lowest on record since the year 2000, with only 1 murder in St. James, St. Elizabeth, Hanover, and none in Trelawney. He notes that the security forces must have the monopoly on the use of force on behalf of the state. He says security officers must strive in every interaction with the public to demonstrate they can be entrusted with that responsibility. The Prime Minister is again warning criminal elements that they must understand that regardless of what kind of firepower they may have, they stand no chance against a highly trained constabulary that has the country behind it. Consumers will be paying more for eggs. President of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association, Mark Campbell, says the main reason for the increase is a rise in the cost of transportation.
Usually, a producer who could make one trip to a supermarket or to a hotel will be making 3 or even 4 trips now to deliver the same amount of eggs. So his cost of delivery, which is separate from his cost of production, has tripled and quadrupled in some cases. So from that angle, the consumers can expect to pay more. His motor vehicle attracts a cost. The fuel he buys is at a cost.
Campbell says consumers should brace for a double-digit price increase.
I suspect that the average price that was there before would be around $1,200 a tray. That's for a tray of 2.5 dozen eggs, 30 eggs. And I have seen a movement of anywhere between 10 and 30% recently. So if that is the movement, you're looking at an average of 20% increase.
Mark Campbell, president of the Jamaica Egg Farmers Association. The process of recruiting workers for the next general elections is proceeding smoothly. That's the word from Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections.
Well, we are in the preparation mode for the upcoming general election, which is due on or before September this year. And a part of our preparation is to recruit election day workers. That process is going okay so far. We have now embarked upon the training phase. So we continue recruiting, but we are now in the training phase of that operation.
Brown says over 20,000 workers will be needed on election day.
We are looking to engage 25,000 persons to assist us on the day in terms of assist us to execute the election on election day.
Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections. Meanwhile, now that both houses of Parliament have approved the bill to make Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish, the next step is for the bill to get the assent of the Governor-General. Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, will start the process to determine the electoral boundaries after the bill is gazetted.
It will then be referred to the Commission as it relates to because it is the responsibility of the Commission, the Electoral Commission of Jamaica, to determine the constituency boundary and electoral division boundary. So it has to be referred to the Commission, and then the Commission will, as it relates to the designation of any constituency boundary, the Commission will then go through that process. And that process involves a number of layers in terms of the arriving at any constituency boundary, electoral division boundaries. There's an established guidelines for the setting up of constituency boundary and electoral division boundaries.
Glasspool Brown, Director of Elections. The bill to facilitate Portmore's transition to parish status was passed along party lines in the House of Representatives on February 11. It was approved by the Upper House last Friday. President of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce, Dennis Robotham, says Portmore's pending upgrade to parish status is bad news for business in St. Catherine.
If they can show us where and how we will be funded, because most of St. Catherine are in the farmlands area, a lot of, we go up into the hills, that sort of thing. Most of the revenue comes from the urban area of Portmore per se, and all other areas in St. Catherine. Therefore, that aspect of it is going to negate against the upward mobility. I am yet for anybody to show up how we will benefit in terms of the economic aspect of it, which just looking at it from, the onset and just looking at it from our angle, it doesn't look too good from where we sit.
Robotham says he's yet to see a comprehensive document outlining how parish status will be beneficial.
Nonetheless, the authorities might give us a different spin, and until we hear a fulsome report as to how and when and why we're going to see the difference, then we are yet to see that. But in the interim, this is how we look at it, and we hope that, things will change. Yes, we see other aspects. The minister was at our meeting, and lands have been located to do a hospital, which, of course, we might get some interim spin-off from that, and other areas where that economically we will benefit, but that's the short term. The long term is what might be impacting on our total economy.
Dennis Robotham, President of the St. Catherine Chamber of Commerce. Principal of Greater Portmore High School in St. Catherine, Richard Ross, says classes will remain online this week. Classes were moved online last Thursday after teachers and staff protested against a persistent foul odor from a nearby NWC sewage plant.
The security would have reached out to me about 6 in the evening yesterday to indicate that the stench that is permeating the environment is terrible. And so the staff is still resolute. They are not intending on going on the physical plant until the matter is resolved. So staff and students will be still in the virtual space come tomorrow.
Ross says he's disappointed by the lack of response from key stakeholders.
To date, we have not had any meeting with neither NWC representative, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education, or Ministry of Water. None of those entities would have reached out to us in relation to any form of discussion. What we learned would have been what would have been said in the media. We're hoping that good sense will prevail and the matter is resolved so that our students can be back in the physical space where teaching and learning is more effective.
Richard Ross, principal of Greater Portmore High School, last Thursday the NWC said a team would be conducting maintenance work to resolve the issue. Overseas news now. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, at a pivotal summit in London on Sunday, rallied his European counterparts to shore up their borders and throw their full support behind Ukraine. This as the continent sought to wrestle control of negotiations over the Russia-Ukraine war away from the United States and present a united front amid a meltdown in relations between Kyiv and Washington. The urgency of the summit was heightened after U.S. President Donald Trump chastised Volodymyr Zelensky in the Oval Office last Friday. The extraordinary scolding took place on live television, appalling the West and delighting Moscow. On Sunday, Starmer said he had worked with France and Ukraine on a plan to end the war. He said the group of leaders had agreed on 4 things. 1, keeping aid flowing to Kyiv, maintaining economic pressure on Russia. 2, making sure Ukraine is at the bargaining table. And 3, continuing to arm Ukraine to deter future invasion. So they agreed on 3 things. That's the news.
Sign up for the JN Money Card. It's safe, convenient, and free. The time by JN Money is
7:17. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. APC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. APC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Hey there, commuters, big news! Your JUTC Smart Fare cards are here! It's time to swap out those old Smarter cards and step into the future of easy, efficient travel. We know transitions take time, but let's get started. Here's how. Grab your Smarter card and your ID. Bring it to any JUTC ticket office. We will then switch you to a Smart Fare card. Top up and voila! Your brand new Smart Fare card is ready to roll. No stress, your balance moves with you to your sleek, upgraded Smart Fare card. So, out with the old, in with the new. Right with Smart Fare.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute is brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Time of a Street Smarts 2 with Ludlow McLean. Good morning, Ludlow.
And our listeners, the motoring public, and all our visitors. Something happened yesterday, George, yesterday evening. I didn't remember to make mention. Yesterday, apparently they had something, it has to do with some reggae. I think it was being kept at the Mandela Park or something. But I really saw, I tried to exit Alfred Street to get on the Alfred Road, but there was an issue because the road, there's a lot of traffic. But I think some signs should have been there to detour and all of that. It's only when you get into Alfred Street clear, in the vicinity of the transport center, you saw the police directing you to make that right turn onto North Oden Avenue. And I don't think that's not satisfactory. An event was taking place, but then there should have been some notice. Not everybody's going to hear what is taking place. And as a result, we were inconvenienced motorists. So if you're coming along Compton Spring Road, as you get in the vicinity of just going across South Avenue, you would have seen a lot of traffic. And same thing if you're coming up Malines Road, there was no sign of, no evidence of any sign to tell you the detour. I'm not satisfied about that. The communication was really poor as far as I'm concerned. Nevertheless, at this time, the traffic is moving along surprisingly. There are gaps along Malines Road, but it's only as you get into Half Street Square. That area, Half Street Square, busy, as I did mention this morning. And other areas going to Richmond Park, Cassia Park. By the way, Cassia Park is not too bad, but there are some terrible roads there. I don't know when they're going to sort that one out. So it means probably the drainage system, not really Cassia Park Road, but off Cassia Park Road. Glendale Avenue, I think that's the name of it. The roads are really in a terrible condition. And the motorists normally use it as a shortcut from Cassia Park to get onto Malines Road, but it's really in a deplorable state. But in the meantime, the traffic is in everywhere. And by the way, over in Harborview, if you're coming from 9 miles, 8 miles, 7 miles, steady, no problem, no delay, even to the roundabout there right at Harborview there. And if you're making it onto Circular Thursday Glasgow, it's even smoother, going all the way up to Michael Manley Boulevard. No problems in that area at this time of the morning. Maybe, I don't know if it's going to happen later on, but so far, so good in that area. But I can tell you if you're going on Mountain View Avenue, you will have a challenge just in the vicinity of Deanery and going further up towards Mountain View. You know, the school is there, the Excelsior Community College and High School, and also the primary. So you'll also have a little challenge there. But I would say the intersections are busy and you have to be careful. And remember, motorists, most of you, a lot of motorists are still there not using their indicators. You know, especially I saw a few of them really making left turns and right turns and not using their indicators. Police are not to go here, but I'm sure when they stop you, you'll be prosecuted. It's over to you, George. And as usual, at Street Smart, your safety is our concern. Over to you.
Thank you, my friend Ludlow McLean there with the Street Smarts 2 the second one for the morning, second and final one. Up next, front page.
Street Smart and the JUTC Morning Commute was brought to you by JUTC, your route to excellence.
Front Page is brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business. For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. You're now tuned in to our discussion segment, The Front Page. Focusing this morning in the first half of the front page on the potential impact of a U.S. withdrawal from the International Monetary Fund, IMF, and the World Bank. So concerns are mounting over Washington's possible withdrawal from global institutions like the IMF and the World Bank, heightened by U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's absence from recent G20 meetings. Established in the aftermath of World War II, the IMF and World Bank were created to stabilize economies and prevent future conflicts. The IMF serves as a lender of last resort, offering critical financial support to struggling nations, whether aiding Greece during its debt crisis, Argentina through repeated defaults, or the UK in 1976. Meanwhile, the World Bank finances major infrastructure projects for railways to renewable energy, while also helping nations build financial frameworks. Both institutions play a vital role in shaping economic policy and maintaining global investor confidence. For a discussion on the impact a U.S. withdrawal from the IMF and the World Bank would have on world financing, we're being joined by chartered accountant and financial analyst Dennis Chung. Good morning to you, Dennis.
Hi, morning, Tony. George is here with you.
Morning.
Yeah, man, how you doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide this morning again, Dennis. Dennis, if you could, for our listeners, outline the importance of a USA membership to the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank.
Well, the main importance is that the U.S. is the main funder of the World Bank and the IMF. So the U.S. has a 16% shareholding in the World Bank and a 24% shareholding in the IMF. In fact, the IMF, at the IMF, the U.S. Treasury Secretary is actually the governor. The U.S. also traditionally names the president of the World Bank. So the U.S. is very, very much the main backer of both, which means that the funding that comes from the IMF and the World Bank to various countries is provided primarily from the U.S. So it's a major funding source for all the loans and interventions by these organizations around the world.
Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, setting up the discussion, Dennis, to what the media has been reporting on and their speculation about this possible withdrawal from those two big institutions, I'd ask Dennis, what would a U.S. withdrawal from the IMF and the World Bank mean for the global financial system?
Well, it means that there would be an immediate reduction in funds to the countries that need it. Personally, I don't think long term it will have a major effect because I think people step into the breach. If you look at what's happening with the Ukraine situation, Europe, for example, is saying, okay, we are going to fund the war in Ukraine, and we are going to go and provide the support. So I don't think, and remember always we have China waiting in the wings, right? They, in fact, if you think about it, China has been providing directly a lot of funding to various countries in terms of how they're building stadium and roads and all of those things. So I think immediately you might see a fallout, particularly the ability of the World Bank and the IMF to fund these countries. So it's, as I said, I think that globally you will find that there will be funding available. I mean, if you look at what's happening with Russia, for example, when Russia couldn't sell the oil, it was bought by other countries, right? What might happen is that you might find that the World Bank and the IMF, as the organizations themselves, that they might lose their influence because it easily could be that other countries form a different grouping. So it's a significant shift, not just in financing, but geopolitics, politics globally is going to shift to this. Because remember, the World Bank and the IMF is one of the more significant ways that the U.S. has influence throughout the world. So if you were to pull the U.S. out of the World Bank and the IMF, right, and it's replaced otherwise, and they're cutting down on U.S. aid also, how is the U.S. going to have its tentacles all over the world? Mm-hmm. And that, I think, is a bigger question.
Mm-hmm. What percentage did you say again, Dennis, that the U.S. has in the IMF, their shareholding?
24% and 16% in the World Bank.
24% in IMF, and China has about 5%. So you're saying that when the U.S. pulls out, there would be that immediate impact in terms of funding, but others like China would step in to fill that financial gap in the long term.
Yeah, I think that will happen because the organization is going to try to survive. And by trying to survive, it might turn to negotiating with other countries and say, okay, we have this capacity available. Do you want to take it up? And, anybody who provides the money sings the song, calls the shot. So, they might want to do that.
When we come back from the break, Dennis, wanna continue focusing on that. What impact that would have on the U.S. if it should pull out, and then China starts to have even further influence in spaces like these. Gonna take a break and come back with more.
Give up every illegal gun. Call the police at 119 or Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Ministry of National Security is
7:31.
Rent or buy your hurricane supplies from Total Tools. Visit 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, or 34 Slipe Road, Kingston 5. The temperature brought to you by Total Tools Jamaica is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Me grew up as my granny save her money under her mattress.
But at an all-time something. That's where I save my money in the bank. And because I want to buy a little house, but also saving a building society. We have to be smart with how we save our money.
So, what if the bank crash?
Well, that's where JDIC comes in. Make I tell you something. With the JDIC Deposit Insurance Scheme, once you save your money in a commercial bank, merchant bank, or building society, your deposit is covered up to a maximum of $1.2 million per depositor per financial institution if the institution fails. All the information that you need is available at jdic.org, and you can follow their social media platform for more information.
JDIC, protecting deposits for you and me.
Yes, it's tax time. March 17 is the due date for your income tax returns. Self-employed individuals are required to file their annual returns SO4 and estimated return SO4A with income tax, education tax, NHT, and NIS due and payable on one return. Companies are required to file the ITO2, which is the annual return, and the estimated return ITO7. Visit jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 888-TAX-HELP for details. Tax Administration Jamaica, working together to serve you even better.
Hey there, commuters, big news! Your JUTC SmartFare cards are here! It's time to swap out those old Smarter cards and step into the future of easy, efficient travel. We know transitions take time, but let's get started. Here's how. Grab your Smarter card and your ID. Bring it to any JUTC ticket office. We will then switch you to a SmartFare card. Top up and voila! Your brand new SmartFare card is ready to roll. No stress, your balance moves with you to your sleek, upgraded SmartFare card. So, out with the old, in with the new. Right, with SmartFare.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning, having a conversation with chartered accountant and financial analyst Dennis Chung about the potential impact of a U.S. withdrawal from the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, and the World Bank. Dennis, continuing along the lines that we left off about China filling the gap. If U.S. leaves these two institutions, what would be the impact on the United States?
Well, let me put it in this way that people understand, and George is there, you'll understand. If you stop funding your household, it don't mean that your household won't stop get funding, you know. It just means that you might not be in charge of it anymore, right? And that is fundamentally what might happen to the U.S., right? And remember also that one of the ways in which the U.S. actually keeps its currency strong is by this sort of influence. So,
and that's exactly where I want to go, Dennis. Let me interrupt you right there. All you've been saying, I've been saying to myself, well, the U.S. currency as the currency of global business. And if we are to go with these speculators and the U.S. is going to withdraw from these significant global institutions that they've built out so much power through, diplomacy, commerce, the controlled commerce, all of those things, what of the effect on the U.S. currency as the currency of global business? I think that if what we're talking about happens, then that has to take a hit.
Of course, because if you think about it, so let us say that China comes in as the main backer, and China says, okay, to Jamaica or whatever country, I will lend you money, but I will lend it to you in yuan, and you have to pay me back in yuan. You are going to have a demand, an increase in demand for China's currency, right? And particularly since we know that a lot of things are manufactured there, and they say, well, you pay me back in yuan, not just that. But the products that are supposed to be provided under this agreement are products that have to come from our manufacturers, right? That is the power of controlling the IMF and the World Bank.
Right. And keep it currency for me, because I want people to understand how the fact that everywhere in the world you go and you pull out a US dollar out of your pocket, or I almost said pocketbook like Cliff, you pull up a US dollar out of your pocket, yeah? Everywhere in the world say, the greenback, the US currency, it you can trade with it, you can exchange it for goods everywhere around the world. And it's not just because everybody watches American television, it's because the US is so deeply enmeshed in global affairs through organizations and entities like the two we're talking about. So I'm just saying that we could be, people have spoken about this, I almost call it dystopian future, where other currencies are the leading currencies in the world, and the US is but one of many, not the one as it is now. And I'm saying, Dennis, that could very well be a threat if we continue along this path.
Yeah, man, it could easily be a threat, because we see that the US is pulling out its influence from a lot of places. the whole thing of the climate change, Paris Accord. If they pull out of this, the USAID, they have significant influence through USAID.
And the BRICS countries are already coming together and saying, which includes Russia, that they want to do business in currency other than the US currency already. That's happening already as we speak. Yeah. So it is that the world order could be changing before our eyes, and the realignment may see America not at the forefront in the way that it once was for so many decades.
Right. And that's why I said that the geopolitics of it is what they're ignoring. And I don't think that the U.S. understands really the geopolitics of it. I mean, if you think about it, nobody really wants to just throw money out there like that, like the U.S. has been doing, But the benefit to the U.S. from doing that is much greater because of the use of its currency, because of the demand for U.S. things, than the actual money that they're putting out there. And I think that what's being looked at when you look at the rationalization that's taking place in the U.S. is really just a straight mathematics sum.
Yeah,
they're not thinking about the knock-on effect.
Yeah, people seem to think that because the US has a 300 million plus population, Dennis, that manufacturers there, people in business there, if you make and sell products only to the American population, you'll be at least you'll be very, very profitable above where you are now. Is that a sensible way to think?
No. If let me tell you something. China and India has more people there, right? I think Brazil might have
200 plus behind US, but yeah, Nigeria's at 200 plus as well. Yeah.
So you think about those BRIC countries, the population you're talking about is 1 billion people in India, right? A little more in China, right? If once you get to a stage that the average per capita GDP of these people are even close to what is in the U.S. The U.S. market is rubbish compared to them. And that's what people don't understand. If you get the same per capita GDP in China or India with 1 billion people, 300 million people is foolishness.
Yeah, at the base of the pronouncements by the U.S. officials, Dennis, is to cut back, and keep more money at home. Yeah, if the policy continues as it is to keep more money at home and the cuts, who are the cuts going to benefit with all this money that they're saving? What will the U.S. do with this money? Are they building out infrastructure? Are they lining up tax cuts for people who are already filthy rich? What is the gameplay with all the money that they're saving from these cuts?
Well, they might save money from the cuts, George. But what happens is that they're going to lose a lot more, right? So there's a certain amount of money that they can save, but certainly remember that the world population is going to start moving more and more towards other countries now. So a big part of the U.S. income is trade. If trade shifts and people start buying more and more things from other places, then irrespective of how much money they save internally, that's going to go, right? And therefore, I think it is a naive view, right, rather myopic of them to think that they can just save. I mean, I know how even an organization, businesses work. The fact of the matter is that you can't save your way into profitability,
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, for sure.
You can't save your way into profitability,
Yes.
and this is what they're trying to do, which I think is a huge mistake.
Boy, the policy, there's some surprise every day, and these are the soundings. I don't think they'll do it because, again, somebody at some point will say, Mr. President, the influence that we have on the world is built through these organizations and our continued presence in them. America has to remain the foremost country and economy in the world, and if we take a step back from these organizations, we're damaging that. I think that conversation will be had soon.
Well, I hope for their sake it happens. I don't think that if they do that, as I said, that people are just going to allow that void to exist.
Yeah.
People are going to step in.
As they say, is it in science? They say space abhors a vacuum, so it will be filled by somebody. Thank you this morning, Dennis. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. No problem.
All right, good. After the break, listeners, what did Mark Golding say in Hartford, Connecticut? I can't wait. I can't wait to leave it for later. I have to play it for you this morning.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
7:43.
At Hawkeye, our mission is to deliver cutting-edge security solutions to help you keep track of the things you value most.
The temperature by Hawkeye is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Need to make a change to your title or need a title? GeoLand Title Limited. They do lost title application. Add and remove names from titles, wills, estates. First-time registration land surveys also included. Affordable rates and flexible payment options. NLA adjudication and land titling waivers also available. They have 8 locations island-wide. Call 876-754-6436 or visit their website at geolandonline.com. GeoLand Title Limited. Secure your land, secure your title.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies including plugs, switches, panel boards and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10 or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales for a better choice in the electrical business.
At Active Home Center, we've got everything you need to create that perfect spa retreat. From comfort height toilets to the widest selection in faucets and shower enclosures to stylish tubs and the latest trends in bathroom cabinets in various sizes. Our bathroom collection has the perfect fit for every space and every budget. Your relaxing retreat starts here. Visit our showroom in Kingston at 84 Conson Spring Road or Montego Bay at Barnett Tech Park. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
All right, the big talking point from the weekend where you had poll findings and all sorts of things. The opposition leader, Mark Golding, was in the United States, trying to drum up support for his push for Jamaica House. It's part of what political leaders do. And Golding was on the job recently in Hartford, Connecticut, meeting with comrades there. And he spoke for about 3 minutes, 18 seconds. This is the full audio, Michelle, right? All right. Let's just hear what he said.
So and I'm just touching quickly on those things. I mean, there's a lot. I could speak on every area if I needed to, agriculture and many other things. But essentially, we have a very difficult task ahead of us. Yeah. But if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government now, I don't know what kind of state we're going to be. Because we have a corrupt government and a power-hungry government, and they're supported by the elite, and the media is bought out by them too. So it's not an easy road to trod the road that we are treading, comrades. It is not going to be easy to get them out because the news, the things that we put out don't get covered. Even today, there's a poll being run right now. It's independent. I think it was paid for by some business people. A Don Anderson poll. The key metric in any poll is voter intention. Who do you intend to vote for? That's the key metric. Today they published it on a Saturday, which is the lowest sales of any newspaper day. When it shows that the PMP is 5% ahead. We were at 9 at the end of September, so we have come off a bit. The Labour Party hasn't got any of that. They are where they were. It's undecided that have grown. In the meantime, they have had their conference. They have had the Spark program. They've had the Reserve Income Tax Credit, which is essentially a $20,000 grant to over 300,000 people. They've just been spending money to try and get themselves back to where they were. And we have been a bit cautious in putting out our ideas because we have found on multiple occasions that they tend to be appropriated by the Labour Party. And then they're so powerful in the media and their communications is so strong, it's very difficult for us to set the narrative to show that we were really the originators of that idea. And so we are trying to time our release so that we don't suffer from that. But in the meantime, we have held our own in the polls. And I think when we start to now reveal what we intend to do for the people, we will see the growth. I'm glad that you mentioned contract work. No, it was Sophia. Yes, Sophia. The contract work issue is a big issue in Jamaica. You know, where a lot of our employees are working for years on short-term contracts with no job security, and the benefits that Michael Manley fought for and introduced are being deprived from them. And of course, wages in the tourism sector was also mentioned, and we had a series of strikes in the last quarter of last year by hotel workers who are not unionized because of those very issues. And you know, we have been advocating for a joint industrial council for the tourism industry where the workers and the employers and the government sit in a joint meeting and hammer out a basic set of minimum standards of terms of employment like we have in the construction industry in Jamaica. And the security guards need it too, where there are masses of employees and no representation. And as a result, you get very oppressive conditions prevailing. So these are some of the things that we need to do in the spirit of the liberators in this room.
Mark Golding there, PNP president. You know, where to start? Start with the media first. Mark Golding says the media has been bought out by the JLP. It's a serious charge, you know. And I think, you know, it would be necessary for the Comrade leader to tell the country which media has been bought out by the government. That's one. Very serious charge. Two, the JLP media sympathizers, then to paraphrase, so powerful. So the powerful media, well, sure no we matter because we not powerful. We're just 4%. So thank God it's not us. He says that the PNP's message is effectively struggling for carriage. And he speaks of the Donana poll that some business people, he says, paid for. Then he dropped in the Gleaner and said that the good news in the poll for the PNP was published on a Saturday when nobody read the paper. So, complaining that the Gleaner is what Mr. Golding is saying. The Gleaner not doing right by the PNP. If even in this one instance, because an important thing such as the PNP leading in the polls is put on the Gleaner's lowest circulation day of a Saturday. So there's a problem there. So we can assume from this that Golding thinks the PNP has a media problem. And then he admits that the JLP communications is strong. The JLP has been cussed, classed, caricatured for their weak communications, at least early in the life of this administration. And they did something about it. And now the Comrade leader himself says that the JLP's communication is strong, which means that the PNP's communication needs to rise to that mark, pun intended, to counter what the JLP is doing. Right? That's two. Then he says something that I've heard repeatedly, that the JLP effectively steals PNP ideas. Now, I'd like Mark Golding and the PNP to tell Jamaica, tell us the ideas that this government has stolen from the PNP. I want to know. And, I've been toying with saying this in my head from last night. And part of my mind is saying, don't say it. Another part is saying, say it. So there's a conflict in my head. So I'm going to say it. So, the side of my brain that is saying, don't say it. So I'm going to say it. The PNP have this attitude, both experienced comrades and the younger comrades. They have some bright young men and women in the PNP working as junior spokespersons. Real top class in terms of their thinking. I can look at a few. Cleveland Tomlinson is a very promising young man. Yeah, him and some others. Yeah? But it seems as if no matter what generation of PNP, when you ask them to explain anything, them vex. And immediately push back. So on this point you ask, tell us the ideas of the JLP thief. Oh! How dare you ask that? Why are you asking that? Why don't you go and ask the JLP this, that? He said, but hold on. Oh, you reached this. So all I simply asked was for you to tell me the ideas that the JLP stole. You will never get an answer. You'll be met by a venomous response. And you'll be made to feel as if you're trying to do something bad by asking them to provide evidence of that which they claim. Here's how PNP behave again. Anyone as a journalist, you ever ask them how? So if they say they're going to do something, we are going to turn water into a permanently solid state apart from freezing it. So they say that. And you say, okay, how? Oh, what do you mean by ask me how? Why don't go ask the JLP how? So, and you say, well, hold on, you reach there. All I'm asking is how. So I say that to say that I'm sure the question of which ideas from the PNP that the JLP stole, that's the response you'll get when you ask the PNP which ones. Yeah? Also, when you say that, all right, in terms of the big ideas that the parties quarreled over, you remember that raising of the income tax threshold?
Yeah.
Which Mark Golding said he was the originator of, but which has been proven to have been said by Nigel Clark from longer before.
Yes.
They sparred over that, but that there was no question about who came up with that first. Mm-hmm. So leave that alone. I'd like to ask the PNP, because I'm not going to determine to say, boy, there have been none, because clearly I can't say that. The PNP must tell Jamaica which of the ideas that they've spouted, they've articulated, that have been stolen. And then, what is it about the PNP's ideas that if they tell Jamaica, the Jamaicans who want to know now, they must say, no, we're not telling you no, because these ideas are such that anyhow we tell you no, what will the JLP do? They'll take them and implement them now, or they'll repackage them and say, we are putting this forward to you. And then how will the record of you having been first to market with the idea be erased so the people don't remember, say, are you first did come out with this idea? Look.
It's juvenile. Yeah. But I've always said that, George, that this argument that the People's National Party is placing on the table for why it doesn't want to come out and give more on whatever plans it has in its pockets is juvenile. The people out here, we're months away from an election. Yeah? The people of Jamaica are sitting and looking at these two parties. And we're waiting to hear, what are your policies? Give us the comprehensive plans. Lay it on the table so that Jamaicans who are not going off of cascades can better make up their minds about who they're going to vote for on election day. Who to put back in Gordon House to lead this nation. This argument that they keep coming out, oh, they're going to steal our ideas, is very juvenile.
couldn't say it better.
You cannot continue to convince well-thinking Jamaicans that that argument holds water as something that they can sit and we must patiently wait on you to wait until a point where you think it's not necessary for you to come out and list them, and probably just list them and don't go into any detail. We want them now so that we can dissect them and see if they make sense. And this is something that, oh yeah, I like how that sounds. Yeah, that is something I'm convinced I can go with. Place them on the table. Say what they are.
The dissecting is a problem.
Because maybe in it, you say, hey, that don't make that sense, man.
As the point I'm making, they don't want you to ask them how. For some strange reason, I don't know. PNP. And then the issue of the media again. Listeners, the PNP, well, at least here, we would call every financial issue, we would call Julian Robinson and ask for a reaction to something. He's always in a meeting, he says. He never says no, but I'm in a meeting. Or I can't join a discussion, I'll be in a meeting. Every single time. But there'll be voice notes that he records, that he sends. Sends here. Of course, we use them. Yeah? So, and he's the one that you can get to. I mean, Michael Phillips has always been gracious with his time. Yeah? So you call him, he speaks. But those two are the exceptions. They don't talk to certain media houses. Well, I've not done a study to find out if they don't speak to certain media houses. They don't speak to Nationwide. So Michael Phillips apart, who again I say is generous with his time. Philip Paul was here last week, Friday, talking about his energy plans, which is a welcome change. Yeah? But
maybe the only one I've really heard gone into details about what he would do
is Paulwell last
energy.
Friday. Yeah.
And
that's
before that,
yeah.
Before that, he has spoken on his portfolio as well.
And when he's on the campaign trail, yes. So you see the problem you're having now, the problem that you create for yourself. And let me tell you, what Golding said in Hartford, Connecticut, he would never say it to the comrades here in Jamaica. He wouldn't speak like that. Yeah? He wouldn't speak like that at all. So it was refreshing for me to hear the honesty with which he made certain admissions. And I couldn't help but say to myself as I listened to him on the weekend that, boy, look how times change. PNP lamenting about not getting carriage in media. When they perfected certain things in the playbook years ago. When they seeded the ground for their own advantage. And now a comrade leader is saying, boy, that advantage exists no more. Is it really so? Oh, what a thing. PNP needs to be brave, telling us how, and when we ask for details, don't be angry because we ask for details. Give it the details. Use the energy and answer the question rather than use the energy to say that the question shouldn't be asked. Front Page was brought to you today by ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
The time by Grace Good Move is
8:01.
Success, powered by learning. The Temperature, brought to you by Sandals Corporate University. Come grow with us is
26 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 24 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 21 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
From the mountainside to seaside, countryside to townside, inside and outside, it's across Jamaica this morning.
And across Jamaica this Monday morning, a new wing to be constructed at the St. Thomas Drop-In Centre is expected to provide another 16 beds to accommodate the homeless in the parish. Minister of Local Government and Community Development Desmond McKenzie says the move is in response to an increase in the homeless population in St. Thomas. McKenzie says the procurement process is almost complete and funds are available for the project. The Manchester Chamber of Commerce is hopeful that the police will continue to effectively clamp down on crime in the parish. President of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, Omar Fennell, says there's hope the police can build on recent gains made.
There have been some reductions, but as you can imagine, it's a process. So we are sticking through with that process. It has yielded some results, but as I said, cautious optimism is what we're going with right now.
Fennell says, based on the previous crime surge that resulted in the imposition of curfews, businesses had to adjust their operations to facilitate transportation of workers, as well as make changes to opening hours. He says the efforts by the police are helping to reduce the high level of fear among some residents.
Hearing that we had no murders in January at all in Manchester is telling us that the police force is yielding some positive results, and I believe that as a chamber we'll work alongside them. And what we have been chided for, not understanding what's happening, but then with this kind of a result, I think they're on the right path. So we're just gonna work alongside them and see where it goes.
Omar Fennell, president of the Manchester Chamber of Commerce. Finally, across Jamaica, Jamaica's business process outsourcing BPO sector has recorded phenomenal growth over the past 4 decades, transforming from a modest operation in the Montego Bay Free Zone to a sprawling industry encompassing over 3 million square feet of space island-wide. This, according to Vice President of BPO and Logistics at the Port Authority of Jamaica, Gloria Henry. She says the expansion has been fueled by increasing private sector investment and strategic stakeholder vision to position Jamaica as a key player in the global logistics hub. Mrs. Henry was speaking at the recent media launch for the Global Services Association of Jamaica's Outsourced to Jamaica conference at the Jamaica Pegasus Hotel in New Kingston. She says the shift from public to private sector dominance has been a key driver of this growth. According to Mrs. Henry, to 15 years ago, the public sector through the PAJ was the primary provider of BPO space. The private sector now accounts for 67% of the occupied space. And that's it for Across Jamaica for this Monday morning.
People of Westmoreland, come out to DNY Supermarket in South Lamar. Sunday, March 1st, for the Tasty Beat Easter promotion. The Tasty team will be live with cheese specials, deals, and super discounts. We have the rhythm and the tins for you all Easter. Come out and get your tasty cheese.
Tasty Beat with tasty cheese.
Looking for unique furnishings for your home or apartment? Modern Woodcraft offers custom-built pieces for your bedroom, living and dining room, and entrance tables. Choose your preferred color or supply your own fabric for a personalized touch. We also build custom kitchen and bathroom cupboards as well as house doors. Visit us at our new location, 88 Malines Road, Kingston 10, opposite Sundown Crescent. Call 876-620-7460 or 876-565-2162. Modern Woodcraft, making your home look better for less.
JPS. Aye, my JPS app. The mobile app, brave as I said hot. With the mobile app, you feel know you can't flop the app. In a happiness, cause what? My JPS app easy, turn a riddle my light off it bright than the moon. If I want thing me love for me JPS app, me I tell you about it in the tune. My JPS app easy, turn a riddle for me light off it bright than the moon. If I want thing me love for me JPS app, yeah we fully outside with the crew. Pouring what matters.
Hey there, commuters, big news! Your JUTC Smart Fare cards are here! It's time to swap out those old Smarter cards and step into the future of easy, efficient travel. We know transitions take time, but let's get started. Here's how. Grab your Smarter card and your ID. Bring it to any JUTC ticket office. We will then switch you to a SmartFare card. Top up and voila! Your brand new SmartFare card is ready to roll. No stress. Your balance moves with you to your sleek, upgraded SmartFare card. So out with the old, in with the new. Right with SmartFare.
My Mega With so much to do in one location, make Megamart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy. All in one amazing location. My Megamart, the best value by far.
Welcome back to Nationwide this morning. There will be time for your calls, but first, turning my attention to the National Tourism Debate Competition. The debate brings together up to 16 schools, all competing for the prestigious title of National Debating Champions. Through sponsorship, the event also provides a platform for social intervention by the business community. The competition is now in the final stages of the quarterfinals, with just one match remaining. The semifinals are set to begin on March 13, followed by the finals in the last week of this month. To share more on the competition, I'm being joined by Michelle Tuller, the Executive Director of the National and Regional Tourism Debate, and Malik Kellier, who's a Chief Judge. He's also Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on NTM. To you first, Michelle, the main objectives of this tourism debate competition and how it has evolved over the years.
Oh, well, it's definitely to promote critical thinking with our students and, you know, within the tourism industry and their career choices when they leave high school. We started in Western Jamaica, Montego Bay to be exact, and, you know, we had a meeting with the minister and he said, listen, let's do this national. Mm-hmm. And so we're now a national debate.
And, okay, so it moved from being something regional, now national. Has it always been 16 schools that participate? Or up to 16 schools? How many have joined over the year? How has it expanded?
Hello?
Are you hearing me, Michelle? Having some issues with Michelle's line. Michelle? All right, going to try to reconnect with her. But in the meantime, Malik, have you always been one of the judges for the debate competition, or you recently joined? So I'm having issues with both of my lines. Malik, Michelle? Okay, both not hearing me, so I'm going to try to reconnect with both Malik and Michelle, talking this morning to us about the tourism debate competition. As I'd indicated before, the National Tourism Debate brings together up to 16 schools, all competing for the prestigious title of National Debating Champions. And through sponsorship, the event also provides a platform for social intervention by the business community. As I said, the competition is now in the final stages of the quarterfinals with just one match remaining. The semifinals are set to begin on March 13, followed by the finals in the last week of March. And we had Michelle on the line and Malik talking to us about the debating competition. Still trying to reconnect with both of them, having some issues with the line this morning. Wanted to find out from both, how is it that they get the schools on? Is it voluntary, or is it that they have to have some kind of prelims in the high school before they select I'm having some issues with both of the lines, trying to reconnect with Michelle and Malik. So Jermaine is helping me out with that. But to find out how it is that they come up with the final 16 who actually participate, to hear from them as well how the students have developed through the debating competition. Debating is normally one of those key areas that help our students across the country develop, as Michelle was telling us, with critical thinking as well. And to hear what are the prizes? What are the prizes? The students who participate, what do they win? And to hear from Malik as well, how he does what he does as a chief judge for this competition. How do you evaluate them? What are the key criteria? What is he looking out for? What are the other judges looking out for in a competition like this? And what skills do the students develop through the competition? And how those skills have benefited them in their future careers, and who from the competition has actually gone on to take on a career in the tourism space. Who from the debating competition has gone on to take on a career in the tourism industry. And what advice too would you give to students preparing for the semifinals and the finals? And if it is that they can sneak and tell us what the topics are, before the competitions are held. Do you have kids out there who are in the debating competition? Can persons watch online to see how our students here in Jamaica are doing, participating in these competitions and getting their points across throughout the debate? Having any luck getting Michelle and Malik back on the line before we run out of time. Malik, back on the line? Malik?
Hi, good morning.
You're hearing me?
I am.
Wonderful. So we're going to carry on with you until we get Michelle back on the line. I wanted to ask, what are the key criteria used to evaluate and judge the debates? What do you look out for?
Thank you so much for that question. As Michelle gave the precursor, we're looking for critical thinking, thinking on your feet to be able to answer points of information from the opposing team. But obviously, I think the standard conventions as well, how knowledgeable the candidate or the speaker is about the specific motion or moot, and obviously general public speaking skills, diction, tone, pace, the use of gesticulation. But we're very, very, very interested in how we develop the students' critical thinking skills, especially when I say on your feet, meaning in the midst of a point, someone should be able to attack your point from the opposite side and you respond with the information. That's showing you how very knowledgeable you are about the information. So research is very critical. And I think that was one of the reasons, I don't think Michelle got to share it as yet, but why I feel I had the need to come back home proverbially to the competition, because I'm actually one of the first debaters. Actually did see the competition started in Western Jamaica, where I'm from, and I was one of those first teams to participate. And, you know, it was just over the Christmas holidays, I believe, that I was just looking through on social media and saw the competition. It brought back that nostalgia. And I reached out to Miss Toller and said, I want to be a part and give back or pay the way forward by assisting. And she said, come on and be a guest judge this year.
Oh, so this is your first time judging?
Yes, this is my first time judging the competition since it's been, you know, it has grown since I was in high school.
Wonderful. Michelle, back on the line as well?
I am.
Wonderful. So I don't know if you want to continue on the point, or I could move on to hear what are the key topics or motions that have been debated this year.
Sure. I was saying that the Minister of Tourism actually was the one that got involved in the competition, Minister Ed Bartlett, and we expanded to a national competition and then regional.
And then regional.
Right.
Oh,
yes,
so the competition
regional.
actually leaves Jamaica and heads
Yes.
other parts of the Caribbean.
Yes, during the COVID pandemic, we invited Bahamas, who was waiting actually from 2013. Then there was St. Lucia, Barbados. We have had Turks and Caicos now for a few years. And our reigning champion is from BVI, British Virgin Islands, for regionals. So we have done quite a bit in the last, I would say, 13 years of the competition.
Wow. And for this year now, if you could share some of the key topics or motions that have been debated.
Right. For this year, we had the Emancipation and Independence Day, we've looked at that motion. We also will be looking at AI technology within the tourism sector. Is it necessary to revolutionize the sector?
Yes.
And we have a big one, which we did on Friday, which is the U.S. travel policies and economic trends and geopolitical developments for marketing Jamaica during this time. You would know that we have the new U.S. administration. We have President Trump there. And so we looked at, will it change travel for Jamaica? Yeah.
Okay. So, Malik, coming back to you, if you could give some advice to students preparing for the semifinals and the final coming up, what would that be?
Thanks so much for that. All the teams have been doing so well so far. The just show that it has been really, really difficult from the judges panel how we really assess these students because they're bringing their A game. But I would just remind them you're at the semifinals. We're wrapping up the semifinals now, and we just want to see their very, very A game. The research has to be on point. As you realize, Ms. Tolo just mentioned some of the very interesting topics. Some of them are very novel. So we want to see that depth of research and that creativity in how you provide your recommendations and solutions to these challenges that we as Jamaica and the Commonwealth Caribbean at large, where tourism is our lifeblood. We can't get away from that. So we want to see how you have, through your research, spun your arguments to ensure that we have plausible and workable solutions. And also, when you are challenged by another debater from the opposing side, you are able to show how confident you are in your content in delivering your recommendations. So it's just A game all the time. And of course, utilizing your posture and your diction to ensure that you are convincing as a speaker, because we're developing world-class speakers through this competition.
And finally, for you as well, Malik, you are a seasoned debater. What skills do you think students develop through competitions like these, and how those skills benefit them in their future careers?
Certainly. Research skills, and it translates over into even the academics, because many times students and parents may wonder, why get involved in extracurricular activities? Extracurricular activities like this national tourism debate enhances you as a complete student. So you increase and improve upon your research skills that you can use to assist with your SBAs or your IAs that they are always seem to be struggling with. You get to expand your vocabulary. You learn new words and new terms. And apart from research and expanding vocabulary as well, you learn, as Ms. Tolo mentioned at the start, critical thinking. Many students struggle with the types of ways in which to write. And so through debate as well, we introduce students to different styles of thinking so that when they're writing their various essays or theses, they are better able to express themselves.
Yes.
And of course, finally, public speaking 101, because at the end of each match, as judges, we also try to encourage and empower and share with them things they can improve on. As I said, maybe this seed was planted within me by Ms. Tolo way back when I started in the competition in its very first year. And look at me today. I'm an attorney. So I've transferred that skill and that passion to even where I am today. And I mean, there are others who are maybe in the legal world who have benefited from this competition and have gone on to do greater things with the transferable skills we have learned through this experience.
Yeah. Michelle, giving the final word to you, and if you could tell our listeners if they're able to access these debating competitions online, can they watch online?
Yes, it's available on YouTube. Thanks to our sponsors, the JHD, Royal Town, World Transportation, and Moon Palace. We want to thank our sponsors. We will also be doing the finals live at PBCJ. We did all our episodes last year at PBCJ, so we want to thank PBCJ for their support. But it is available on the National Tourism Debate YouTube channel.
Okay, we'll be sure to tune in. Both of you, Malik Kellier, Chief Judge, you're also Assistant Director of Public Prosecutions there in the Office of the DPP, and Michelle Tolo, Executive Director for the National and Regional Tourism Debate. Both of you, thank you so much for your time this morning.
And thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right, going to take a break and come back with your calls.
Apply for your NHD refunds at nhd.gov.jm or via the NHD app. Do not click on any links offering to help you. The time by the NHD is
8:21.
Fontana Pharmacy has a wide variety of items from pharmaceuticals, household, cosmetics, toys, and more. The temperature by Fontana Pharmacy. It's all good inside is
27 degrees Celsius in capital city Kingston, 26 out west in Montego Bay, and 22 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Corian solid surface, so versatile and beautiful. It's non-porous, no sealing necessary, renewable and repairable, so easy to clean and maintain, and can be thermoformed into any shape. Choose Corian, the #1 solid surface in the world, when you want beauty and the best for your countertop. Visit Home International Limited, located at 104 Constance Ring Road. Telephone 755-1970
or 276-6448.
Hey there, commuters, big news! Your JUTC Smart Fare cards are here! It's time to swap out those old Smarter cards and step into the future of easy, efficient travel. We know transitions take time, but let's get started. Here's how. Grab your Smarter card and your ID. Bring it to any JUTC ticket office. We will then switch you to a Smart Fare card. Top up and voila! Your brand new Smart Fare card is ready to roll. No stress, your balance moves with you to your sleek, upgraded Smart Fare card. So, out with the old, in with the new. Right, with Smart Fare.
8:24 on the clock. Billboard is on. Good morning, Billboard.
Top of the morning to you, Mr. Busybody.
Top of the morning, sir. How you do?
I'm great. You know, I've been trying to find a name for Tana, you know, and I came up with it this morning.
Yeah.
Tana is identified to me as the fire stick lady.
Fire stick lady.
You know that person who put the fire, the stick into the fire, the wood into the fire, and let the fire blaze?
Yeah.
Is she that?
Yes, man.
When she's coming across, she comes across so cool and calm that you realize that some of the things she says, so you know, it's inspiring.
Yes, man.
And I'm beginning to identify her as the fire stick lady.
Yes, man.
Long and short of it, when I was a young boy, you see, working in downtown, I used to say, thief, when somebody thief, pick your bag or so in town, and people start talking, thief, thief, thief.
Mm-hmm.
You know who is the main man running down the thief?
Another thief.
The thief himself.
Oh.
When they make the loudest noise and I run like I run down somebody, that time I'm the thief, you know.
Yeah, man.
It's like Mark Bolin here now. He's saying corrupt. The main issue in America is that the government corrupt and the media is like inspiring him, moving him. Who is more corrupt than the people that speak on this side? Tell me. Almost everything they come across with and everything they try to do comes across has been corrupted. And he's not talking about it. Look at the local government they're in charge of now. The parish council that they're in charge of now. You want more corruption now? What is happening near now? What is not even so easy to say?
I said this to you, Billboard. Do you you recall the first time you heard that story about KCMC, right? Yeah. And you would have heard people say, boy, not no go so I make up story and blah blah blah. Right, all right. And you've seen the mayor issue 2 statements on the issue, right?
Yeah.
All right. Have you heard any of the parties to the KCMC issue submit themselves to an interview? where people can ask them how and to explain.
How can they when people have receipts on them?
Thank you very much. So this thing about, so I'm sure the mayor will say, boy, he has been forthcoming and he has, set up a council of a council to oversee matters at the KCMC led by Devon Dick, and he has done all these things. But he has not put himself in a position where people can ask him questions and to seek clarification if it's not clear. It's a controlled narrative, and he will tell you that he's been transparent and that he's been forthcoming about the issue.
George, the very first time you were introducing the Parish Council people and you talk about the mayor, you didn't give him any thumbs down. Neither did you give him anything to hold him up in the ear. You say, you will see around and see what he's made up of.
Yes.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't have to wait long. I was going to call in that man and I said, George, hey, I was going to laugh and leave it at that. But a good thing I didn't do it because it has come across so clear that what I was expecting of him, he has proven himself to be like what I know.
All I'd say is this, Billboard. For what we heard about the Integrity Commission and the Prime Minister, and the reason people say the Prime Minister should step aside because he's under investigation. So the fact of being under investigation, you should move. The fact of these things being said, you should move. And none of the actors in the KSAMC, first of all, the leadership of the PNP make it seem as if the KSAMC is not a big issue. It's nothing. Yeah, the mayor himself, 2 statements deep. Yeah, the 2 statements deep has steadfastly refused to submit himself to an interview.
Isn't that
none of the other actors, Billboard, none of the other actors in the KSAMC issue have been named, have even answered the phone when the media call.
Isn't that clear indication about how corrupted they are? And they are
well, that's your view. My view is that I want them to put themselves in a position to answer questions. That's all.
I'm going to leave you with this one. The main media are supporting the JLP 4%.
No. But I do that, Billboard. No. Hold on now. Billboard, hold on, man. Billboard, it's straightforward. It's straightforward. We're not solving for X. Here's the thing. The 4%ers are us. JLP supporting media are not us. We are doing journalism.
I know.
Okay.
They say you're a JLP station.
Well, them can say what they want to say.
Is it that the 4% is so strong?
Yeah, but I don't want you to tie up 4% with that. That's what I try to avoid. All right. Thank you this morning. Thank you. Yeah, man, one day at a time.
What I like is that I tell Chris that there will be a hurricane for the election. I see it building gradually, little by little, where the government is now getting back its stride.
Well, all I'll say is Chicken Mary. You know the rest of it. We're gone.
Talk to you.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM. The time is
8:30.
Skillset Talent Solutions offers marketing, accounting, business registration, logo creation, tax filing, background checks, and recruiting services. Call them at 876-559-3212. The temperature by Skillset Talent Solutions is
27 degrees Celsius in Kingston, 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 22 degrees Celsius in Mandeville.
Yo, my boss.
Yo,
my general. Yo, my king. The new BK Mega Stacker. Come for run everything. Choose your style. Double, triple, or quad stack. Juicy grilled beef. Plus crispy bacon, some stackerific sauce, and layers of melted cheese. So if you think you can angle it, stackify yourself today. Order the BK Mega Stacker and have it your way. The new BK Mega Stacker. Built for satisfaction. Limited time. Only at Burger King.
Upgrade your home or business with Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Explore a range of termite-resistant plywood, quartz, solid surface, and granite. Experience timeless elegance with our cedar doors, crafted from premium cedar stock, kiln-dried for durability and beauty. For quality and craftsmanship, visit us at the Trade Center Kingston 10 or Hatfield Mandeville. Call 876-963-0628-30. Cameron Industries and Joinery Limited. Transform your space today.
two budget presentations, Tone, I'm looking forward to the most. Not the Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. The opposition leader and the opposition spokesman on finance. I want to hear those two because I suspect the details that we've been asking for, some of the details, the plans, will have to come there because they can't come anywhere else. So those budget presentations, I'm saying it publicly, I'm looking forward more to those two presentations than anything the government will have to say. I want to hear what Mark Golding has in store for the country and what the opposition spokesman on finance will have to say about how the finances are being managed and how a PNP administration will go about things differently to yield better outcomes. Those are the two I want to hear.
Well, a lot of us asked for a particular detail last year and we didn't get it, but we'll see.
Live in hope.
There was a commitment or an indication that details would be provided about the income tax threshold move that the opposition leader had announced on the campaign trail leading up to the local government elections. And the budget presentation came and not a word was said about it. But yeah, I hear you.
All right.
I hear you, George.
There's a poster who's been trying to get my attention all morning, and you've succeeded. Jennifer Richards, you scramble up her names here. Feniger Hardricks, whatever. She says, or the person, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, says, if it was Mark Golding who can't declare, you, George, would be calling for him to resign. Go outside, George. Listen to your comments. Well, Feniger Hardricks or Jennifer Richards or whatever it is. I don't understand what you're saying because Andrew Holness did declare. He did file. The commission is the one that didn't certify. So the argument is not about whether or not somebody declared or not. And I don't listen. You see, I tell you all the while, some of you people, you can't convince me that you look at yourself in the mirror directly. When you look on yourself back way. Yeah, when people want to show and when you can't face on yourself. Yeah, this suggests you are somebody who you can't face yourself. Feniger, Hardricks, Scar, whatever you want him. Yeah? Anyway, Portmore, morning.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Tana.
Morning to you.
George, He's vexed.
Talk to me.
I'm a friend, but me vexed. Why are you taking out the TNT out of the hole them put themselves into?
How may I take them out? Tell me.
You're giving them advice.
On what?
I mean, I like that.
On what?
You spoke this morning and you're talking about, they're not coming on the air, they're not doing this, and they need to do that.
They need to do? What do you mean by they need to?
Listen, me, sir. Listen, me. Talk to him for me. Talk to George.
Portmore, you don't want to hear from the Portmore. Hold on, the Portmore. Because reason, the man who's leading the party, that is the government in waiting. You don't want to hear what plans they have for the country?
Me don't want to hear what Marcus said.
But it's unfortunate. Me want to hear. Antana want to hear.
You want to hear?
Yes. No, me keen to hear.
I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
Everything that them putting on the board is already done by the JLP and Andrew Holness.
No, sir.
So what them are going to come with?
No, sir, because there are many things we're doing now that can be done much better.
Much better?
Yes, man. What heap of things that you know we can do much better?
Well, me know say, me are not idiot. Based on how they talk and they criticize and them cut down Andrew Holness, because only Andrew Holness them have strength for him.
But they go for the leader. You know the political tactics, Port. We're an experienced man. You go for the leader and the rest of the body will die, yeah.
That's why them find themselves in the position where them in. And you come this man now come tell them about it. No need to leave them alone, sir.
No, man, it is necessary for us to hear, as Mahiri Stewart would say, how. Mahiri harps on that all the time. He says, when we talk to our leaders, we need to ask the most important question, how? That thing that you promise, how?
Well, you see, because over the years, let me tell you something. You may think I'm a little boy,
Me not think so.
You may think I'm a little boy, You know something older than Cliff.
I believe you. I don't know why things here.
They may sound young, but young.
Yeah.
And I've always listened to the PNP. I try my best to hear everything that they say. And I match it up with the JLP. And I'm going to tell you this. I'm waiting for the budget presentation. I mean, I want to hear Mark Golding and Julian Robinson. Julian is a nice man.
No, man, but you must want to hear the two of them. You must want to hear the two of them.
I listen to them, but I am more concerned with what the JLP has to say, because I know that whatever they promise, they are going to deliver.
All right, sir. I hear you. I have to run. Thank you. Thank you.
All right, sir.
Yeah, man.
Bye-bye, Tom.
Thank you.
What more?
Thank you. Richie, morning.
Good morning, Master George.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Anna.
Morning to you.
Boy, I can't wait for hear the opposition and the budget that I know, because Mark Golden can't come this time. Consider the government say they have 8 new years of tax, but they tax 50 billions on the back of the Jamaican people, you know. You can't come with this step again. But anyway, George, if you keep telling me lies, would I have a right to tell that you're corrupted?
If you keep that you would have a right to say I'm a liar.
You're a liar.
Corrupted, yeah.
But a liar is not a corrupted person.
No, because again, Richie, I have a problem with how Jamaicans define corruption. I don't think we get the definition right. And those who would have us painted as the most corrupt place on earth, they do nothing to correct that, because they want everybody to believe that here is the most corrupt place ever existing.
Well, okay. Well, we know they are engulfed with a lot of corruption, as my man keeps saying to you. But anyway, on Friday evening, I listened Ricardo Brooks and Siobhan interview Philip Paulwell.
Yes.
His plan is that they will be using technology to bring down light bill.
Yeah.
And he mentioned that you use solar.
Yeah.
He mentioned that he has gone solar.
For long, about 20 years now, a long time now, Paulwell is solar. Yeah.
I know. That's where I'm going. But he did not mention how much money he paid for his solar. And Ricardo and Siobhan did not ask him.
Yeah, I think he said it in the past, but the outlay is significant in a Richie.
That's why I know that he's gone solar. He said it, but I can't remember how much he paid.
Yeah, man. He had said, I think I've asked him about that already, and he's answered. Philip Paul will never hide that, man.
I that's the point I'm making, because that's why I know that he's gone solar, and it's about at least 20 years now.
Yeah.
But he did not mention to them the cost of the solar. And they did not ask him.
Yeah, well,
the point I'm making, brethren,
yeah.
is not much people in Jamaica can go solar. Very few.
Yeah.
Because it's very expensive.
Yeah, man. That is true. That is true.
So how is it that he's going to go use solar to bring down that bill?
Yeah, but you see, I'm not gonna explain his thing for him. So you want him to come back so you can ask him how.
Exactly.
All right, I hear you.
All
All right, I'm going to run. I'm going to run and squeeze in another one. Because there are many people and you make 2 points already, somebody want to make at least one. All right, cool. Yeah, man, big up yourself. Call again. Marlon, morning. Hello?
Morning, George. Morning, Tana.
Oh, is it Senator? Oh, morning, sir.
Morning.
I trust you guys had a good weekend.
Very good weekend, sir.
I note that the opposition leader doesn't seem to have had a good weekend. But while we're at it, George and Tana, I, on behalf of the Jamaica Labour Party, want to reject the suggestion by the opposition leader that were the Jamaica Labour Party to be returned for a third successive term of government, the country would be in a perilous state. I want to dismiss that suggestion as alarmist, disingenuous, and baseless, because the truth of the matter is that the opposition leader, in referencing corruption, went on to mention that if Jamaica doesn't get a change of government, he doesn't know what kind of state we're going to be. But I just want to share for a minute or so this morning the kind of state that Jamaica is.
I'll give you 90 seconds, sir. 90 seconds. Yes.
First and foremost, the opposition leader speaking about corruption, yes, is like Vladimir Putin speaking about world peace. It is no different from Saudi Arabia speaking about women's rights, or Omar Davies and PJ Patterson speaking about fiscal discipline and responsibility. The Jamaica that we have at present, George, Tana, listeners, is a Jamaica that is strong and stable in terms of our economic management. We are resilient, so much so that a ratings agency pre-burial could have ascribed to us post-burial and Raphael and so on, the same grade that we got pre-burial. We are at Jamaica, George and Tana, where irrigation and cold storage facilities are being built out to enhance and support agricultural production here in Jamaica. Crime management is in good stead. Murders are down. So far this year, murders are down in excess of 20% relative to the corresponding period last year. This is a Jamaica where there has been no new taxes for 8 successive years, whereas the PNP's plan is to come and tax the people of Jamaica. So we are very clear
Yes.
as to the kind of Jamaica that we are at present,
Yes.
and will be going forward.
Here.
And that is why business and consumer confidence is up.
Yeah.
That is why unemployment is at record lows.
Yes.
Inflation is moderate, and we have healthy reserves
here-
in our net international reserves.
Hear you on that, Senator. I want to get a few more calls. You
Absolutely.
asked me this
Absolutely.
morning, but it's all right. Thank you, Senator Marlon Morgan. There, perhaps giving Golding more reason to say, boy, the JLP's information, the work of their information apparatus and their information unit is successful. That's what he said. He was the one who said that the labor rights are outdoing the PNP. Well, by implication, that's what he meant. Because, the comrades will say, he never said that. He said that it is successful. So if he's saying it is successful, it's because his own is not successful, which is why he's highlighting the fact that the JLP are doing well in their communications. Yeah? I'll say again, Tana, that you can't be comfortable living in a country where you don't know on what basis your opposition wants to take charge of government. And for those who say that, well, the plans couldn't have been revealed before budget. Nonsense. Yeah? You need to get some things out there to have that conversation with the Jamaican people to say that this is what we're offering. You can't want to get to Jamaica House on the back of time come, wicked and uncaring government, time hard, people struggling to send them pitney to school. As I said, under which government in the history of this country have there never been people who can't send them pitney to school? Tell me which one. So you can't come and say, well, that is the basis on which you should vote for us, or just vote for us because them they are too long and you're tired of them, we tired of them too, so give us a chance. No, you have to come with a value proposition. And for the conversation, you need to have put certain things out there and then you tie it all together. Come budget time, then you refine it further, come manifesto, you distill certain things and you put it in your document. But don't look upon us and tell us that you not talk your ideas now because the next side will thief them. That's what you said this morning, Donna. Juvenile.
Yeah.
Cheese and peas.
Like two kids playing in a playground. And one kid is standing over there and the other kid says to the other one, me not tell you my idea, because I got to my idea. So me not tell you my idea. It's juvenile.
Yeah.
And then the rest of Jamaica sits there and looking at it like, come on now.
Yeah. And it still just vexes me how you ask the PNP, what is your idea? What is your big idea? What is your plan? How? And the people are vexed. So you ask how? Me don't understand. If I was campaigning for office and you ask me to tell you challenge me to tell you on what basis I should be voted in, and I get upset because you ask that, but I'm glad to say, oh, you want to hear how? Come. Because this, that.
I'm out here to convince you.
No, sir. Anyway,
substantially that I am the better one for the job.
Juvenile is the word of the day.
Jamaica's Spark program is investing $45 billion to improve roads, water, and telecom. Better infrastructure for a better future. The time by Spark is
8:45.
The Birthday Club is brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
Would you dance if I asked you to dance? Would you run and never look back? Would you cry if you saw me crying? And would you save my soul tonight? Would you tremble if I touched your lips? Would you laugh? Oh, please tell me this. Now would you die for the one you love? Hold me in your arms tonight. Would you swear that you'll always be mine? Or would you lie? Would you run and hide? Am I in too deep? Have I lost my mind? I don't care, you're here tonight. I can be your hero, baby. I can kiss away the pain. I will stand by you forever. You can take my breath away.
Jacqueline Thomas, I see you in the comment section saying George beg you a dance. And it's one me step on your toe them. I can't do mess up me, Jackie. So you need a different partner. You have to do the 2-step with her, whatever it is you do to this. I don't mind think this, Jackie, so yeah.
Oh boy, before we get to our birthdays, George, you owe the people a story.
But which one?
Yeah, at the start of NTM today, I asked for context.
Oh yes.
Just drop it on them without one.
So it's a good song Mr. King is playing, as usual.
Yes.
To tell the listeners that on Saturday night we were at our editor, our news editor, Cara Powell. Her sister, passed away recently. Former principal of Whitfield Town Primary School, Karen Powell. Mm-hmm. So we were at the 9 night. And listeners, when it touched boat, it was almost 12-ish thereabouts. We were all grouped up talking and, laughing and, pure vibes. So I said, wait, Tana there. I thought she was in the house. When we look, Tana was sat on the veranda with her phone in her hand. No, I've never seen somebody fall asleep looking down at the phone. Almost like they're typing. I look, I said, you saw me say, Tana jump! You drive from town, go all the way, almost a whole hour. To go sleep on the people in the veranda.
George, I'm telling you, it's been ages. I've been out that late.
Not even my granny.
Yeah, and then KP full my belly. So, you sit down there now. Yeah, you're gonna fall asleep.
Oh, you eat the scabeach.
And Cara and Kimon. So I had Sprat for the first time.
They're not scabeach, man. Scabeach with the bread, man.
Okay.
Escovitch, but the Jamaican, when they say escovitch, it's scabeach.
Yes, you should tell me I must eat the head too.
Yeah, man.
Just eat the whole thing.
Yeah, man, eat the scabeach, man.
Chop everything. Eat
everything,
the
all
thing?
the tail.
So yeah, man, just eat the whole thing.
Yeah, man.
But it was so good. So KP, whomever prepared the Sprat, yeah, man, they did a fantastic job.
They gave me a box with 4 Sprat and 1 other fish. Yeah?
Yeah.
Disappear.
Yeah, that was me too. Yeah,
Disappear.
Man.
So you're saying that you fell asleep because your belly was full?
That is my argument. And I'm sticking right.
I've never seen a young woman fall asleep with the phone in them hand like you. It was funny. It was funny. And I said, Drat, I should have recorded you.
Good. Now I know. Yeah. So if I end up at the setup, I know not to sit down anywhere near you.
You should be banned from going out after 9 p.m. 9 o'clock at your curfew. No, sir. Mm-mm.
Oh my goodness. What is that time of the morning? Yeah. That time of the morning when we tell our friends. Javon Keys, good morning to you. Javon said, John, need to follow you.
Big up Keys.
Hey, to you, Keys. That time of the morning when we tell our friends happy birthday and happy anniversary. Happy birthday greetings going out to Ebony Blake, Sharon Young, Shan Miss Independent Williams. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Shadow Jason Ingram, Xavier Biggs, Shan Henderson. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday as well to Maria Teresa Tumaroy, as well as Stefan Moulton, K. McPherson, Tasha Henry, or Renique Henry Tasha, your name is on Facebook. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday as well to Tasha Beckford. Happy birthday. It's also the birthday of Vanzo Den, Carrie Ann James. Happy birthday as well to Andrea Rod here on Facebook. Hope you have a really good day. Also celebrating a birthday today, Raquel Rowe. It was yesterday, so belated birthday greetings to you, Raquel Rowe, VVIB. Very, very important birthday from all the staff at Scotia Insurance, all your family and your friends. Hope you had a good one. Another VVIB, very, very important birthday. Elaine Barker, it's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Elaine. Coming from your son Ludlow, your daughter, and the Barker family. Wishing for your wonderful day. Here's another, a very, very, very important birthday, VVIB. Extra, extra special belated birthday greetings going out, again to Raquel Rowe. Celebrated her birthday yesterday. Greetings coming from your son Junior and a host of family and friends. They're saying to you, Raquel, hope you enjoyed your special day. I see all of you in the comments laughing at me. It's time for the birthdays, though. Let me have the birthdays so that we can wish your peeps a special one. I see Cheryl Wallace sending belated birthday greetings to Albert Morgan. Hey to you, Albert.
Oh, Albert.
Yeah.
Big up, Albert.
Big up yourself,
man.
Albert. Hoping you had a great one.
Yes, indeed, Albert.
And I did see another. Where did it go? Here it is. Belated birthday greetings as well. My friend Katie Buller is sending belated birthday greetings to Petrona Smith. Petrona, hope you had a great one too. Scrolling on down. Eileen Beecher sending happy birthday greetings to Jermaine Robinson from his two children, Avia and Amalia, and the rest of the family. They're saying to you, Jermaine, we love you.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
Are there any
Yeah, I
other
saw
birthdays?
Jacqueline Thames being sent birthday greetings by, was it Marjorie? Marigold, rather. Marigold may have been sending birthday greetings to Jacqueline. Yeah, Marigold says, happy birthday to you, Jacqueline Thames. Yeah. So Jackie Thames, Marigold Weber sending happy birthday greetings to you.
Happy birthday to you. Kingsley Graham sending happy birthday to his sister Cheryl there in Faithspen. Hey to you, Cheryl. Happy birthday to you from your brother Kingsley Graham here on YouTube. And SH sending belated birthday greetings to Albert as well. So big up yourself again, Albert. Hoping you had a good one. And Nats Hutchinson. Hey to you, Nats. Sending, she says, my husband Phil and I, Keisha. Hey Nats, Keisha. Celebrated their 13th anniversary yesterday, March 2. So happy anniversary to both of you. Hoping you had a great one yesterday. Are those all the birthdays and anniversaries now? That seems, here goes Sophia Nemod sending belated birthday to friend Janice Smalling from Top Hill in St. Elizabeth. She had her birthday on Saturday. Hey to you. Hope you had a good one. So belated birthday greetings to you, Janice, from your friend Sophia Nemod.
Arlene Rowe says, happy birthday blessings to my aunt, Mrs. Ethel Rowe Ramsey, retired teacher of Hayes All Age. She'll be celebrating her 91st birthday. So Mrs. Ethel Rowe Ramsey, 91 not out. Happy birthday to you, ma'am. And it's coming to you from your niece, Arlene Rowe.
Seeing a final one here. Smart Thinker sending happy birthday greetings to Corporal Williams. Hey to you, Corporal Williams. Happy birthday to you from Smart Thinker here on YouTube.
You saw Gordon Dixon's one to Annabelle. So Gordon Dixon says, happy birthday to Annabelle Distin from Milestone District in Hanover. Coming from Gordon Dixon. So Annabelle Distin, Milestone District, Hanover. Happy birthday to you, and it's coming to you from Gordon Dixon.
And Charmaine Bernard sending happy birthday greetings to Chantal Stew. Oh, it's tomorrow, Charmaine. So put it in the chat again tomorrow for Chantal Stewart. Etta Barclay sending happy birthday greetings to brother Winston, who celebrated his birthday on the 1st. So belated birthday greetings to you, Winston. And Garth, who is celebrating his birthday today. So happy birthday to you, Garth. Both of these greetings coming from your sister, Etta. Those are all the birthdays now? Yes, that's it. So happy birthday to you if you're celebrating your birthday today. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you as well.
take my
The Birthday Club was brought to you by Burger King, the best tasting burger under the sun.
My love is warmer than a smile. My love gives to every needing child. If anyone should ask you who's my true love, tell them my love true is ever letting all the love come through. My love sees love with not a face and lives to love through time and space. If full of everything about my life fits to the tune of you, then you can say that you are my love too. Let my love shine throughout the world, to every mountain top and steeple. Let it be felt by every soul. Dear loves all over. Let it reach out to
I wonder who is the most legendary Lothario in music. So they make some candidates. Julio Iglesias for sure. Prince. Rick James. Three that. Who else? Yeah. Tam. So Prince, Julio Iglesias, Rick James. Those are three outstanding candidates in my book. And I'm sure I'm missing a ton of names, but that's another story. Tana, you must remind me to tell you about Blue Blows.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but next day, we're down the time now.
Tomorrow.
We're down the time.
That's about it for the show. Thank you so much for tuning in to Nationwide this morning. Thanks so much to our technical operator, the musical maestro Jermaine King, our super producer Michelle McCray Smith, and our editor Kimon Thompson back in our chair for the morning today. So thanks so much to you, Kimon Thompson. Up next, the Consumer Hour with Norgay Banton, and at 10, Cliff Hughes Online. I'm Tana.
And I'm George.
Good morning.
You've just heard Nationwide this morning on Nationwide 90 FM.
Let it be felt by every soul. Dear loves all over.
Fearless and fair. Nationwide 90 FM.
Talking about transportation, transporting the past, the present, and the future generation. Whether taxi, private vehicle, or bike, your two bicycle wheel them are a hike. Listen up, quick, you coulda young or